Have you been bad? Do you need to get something off your chest? Now, reconciliation is just a click away at confession.com. Confession.com. Log on to one of our virtual confession booths and tell us your darkest secrets.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Enter.
At confession.com, you can chat one-on-one with a real live priest and get the atonement you crave.
Type 25 Hail Marys and my sins will be forgiven. Cool. Google Hail Mary text. There it is. Select all. Copy and paste. And paste. And paste. And paste.
Lying, cheating, stealing, adultery. We forgive it all only at confession.com.
Oh, I love the way that ends. Isn't that beautiful? It's cute. It's a good bit, but I just love the way that... In fact, let me just back that up a second again. When in doubt... In fact, let's back up a half hour and play the recording of Petey Lenny in there bitching everybody out.
Lying, cheating, stealing, adultery. We forgive it all only at
confession.com. And then just cuts it right off there at the end. Kind of like a bad moil. 10:02 at 560 WQM. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday to you. It must be Woodbine Wednesday. Hey, I had a winning morning Saturday morning for those who are keeping track. And I had a pretty good weekend. I did have a Snickers bar. I'm sorry.
What can I say?
What? I'm not sorry at all.
I know.
My blood sugar's okay, and I'm feeling good, and I'm still alive. You know, I'm not going to go from one extreme to the other extreme. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, it could have been worse. You could have had a sugar daddy.
You're just brutal. You are just the absolute...
Or a sugar
Moses,
baby.
Are you starting with that again? Mary Cheney's book. You know that dyke Mary Cheney?
You fairy.
With the hypocritical daddy and
yes, that one.
And the mommy that writes all the steamy bulldog novels and stuff. Well, anyway, Mary Cheney had a book. Somebody had a lamb. Who had a lamb? Mary
had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb, and the doctor was surprised. Boy, that's older than Methuselah. Anyway,
yes,
Vice President Dick Cheney's daughter, Mary Cheney, was rumored to have gotten a 7-figure advance for her memoir, Now It's My Turn. And you know what the book is selling for now on Amazon.com?
No.
$7 cents.
Oh.
7 cents. She got a 7-figure advance, meaning at least $1 million, and the book is selling for 7 cents. The book was published in May of last year. The recent selling price dip was first caught by blogger Mike Petrellis at his blog, Petrellis Files. It'll probably be best remembered as her shameless grab for a fat check, he wrote. That's 7 cents, folks, for a used copy. He says it's going to cost more for shipping charges than the price of the book. Well, I sure hate when that happens, you know. Mary Cheney had a little lamb, and her partner was surprised. Anyway, so we just passed that along rather sheepishly. What do we got on the lineup for today? By the way, that's I came up with a good slogan. WQAM. We're a secret. Isn't that good? Don't you like that?
What's the secret?
I don't know. Whatever we are, it's a secret. And the way things are going lately, probably just, keep a secret. Not too many people can keep a secret, but nevertheless, holy Moses. But it's just one of those things. 1792, I'm sure that was a pretty good year. What's the source for most of your porn, or what passes for it? That was our poll. And by the way, if there's anybody planning on calling in today, call somebody else, because I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, call a friend.
I just want to make it official, okay? Official. The people who run this joint, and I say run, they just they don't get it. Even Petey Lenny was in there this morning. Well, nobody forced you to come back, Petey. Some people don't know when they're well off. You notice how anybody who escapes from this outfit, when they come back, like Brian Schmutz, he used to be a really good guy. Now he's like a zombie. He's useless. He's useless. And now Petey Lenny comes back. I'm not going to say he used to be a good guy, but he was at least amusing. But now he's all bent out of shape and railing about the sales manager and about they don't even know what this show is all about or what we do on this show. And obviously, Fat Joe Bell don't know what we do on here either because he won't lift a finger. He wouldn't even lift his to do nothing for us. So, we'll do the best we can every day. I'll take the money, thank you. And you know what? We'll still get bigger numbers than around us. which isn't saying an awful lot, you know. They get ones, we'll get twos. They get twos, we'll get threes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in the summertime, you'll kick ass. And you can take those tapes. I think Fat Jolly Joe has got tapeworm. That's why he's got such a big ass, huh?
All right.
Well, you know, that kind of replaced, what was the thing we had on the poll the other day? Thyroid.
I see.
That used to be the excuse for really fat people. Oh, I've got a sluggish thyroid. Yeah, sluggish thyroid, but a real quick hand when it comes to finding food, man. And that's his problem, I think. He's got problems. 1,792 votes on that poll. Your source for most of your porn, the Internet, 1,128. 63% of you are looking at porn on the Internet. Looking at it. And not just looking at it either. One can only begin to imagine. DVDs, 190. I don't watch porn, 168, 9.3%. Do we believe that?
No.
Absolutely not. My imagination, 108. It was just... I'm not going to sing again. Why am I starting to sing lately on that?
Maybe you're happy.
I am happy. I'm very happy.
We all sing a tune, you know, skip along singing a tune.
I am
happy.
extremely, I'm extraordinarily happy.
That's good. That makes me happy.
Peeping in other people's windows, 78. Oh, I really want to play that bit today.
Oh,
Peeping
I know.
in the keyhole. There it is. Yeah. Let's see how far we can go with it before we get Joyce.
Peeping through the keyhole, watching Mom and Dad. Peeping through the keyhole, the most fun we ever had. Mom and Dad were playing tag.
Okay, that's about enough of that. That's about enough. Oh, and guess what? The really good news is Clarence came in today. This is just a test now.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers.
Yeah, I like that one. There's nothing wrong with that one. He said we're going to be mixing and matching. You know, the big voice he called it, that big John Facenda sounding voice, the home of the Dolphin, which was fine the first 4 million times, but it kind of even they admit now it's getting a little ponderous. So mix and match with all the other ones. So the one I just played there, I like that one the best. And maybe once in a great while I'll play the one with the big voice, the home of the Dolphin. And like that's going to make a difference, you know. Anyway, peeping in other people's windows, 78, which I find just alarming, to be honest with you. Videos, 58. X-rated magazines like Playboy, Hustler, all of these things, 25. Catalogs like Victoria's Secret, 20. Softcore magazines, FHM, Maxim, etc., for soft guys, I guess, 9. And comic books, 8. I still don't understand what that means. There are sexual comic books?
Sure there are.
Get out of here.
See,
Like what?
I don't know what they're called, but they're comic books that are made for adults and have nudity and sexual themes, and some of them are quite hardcore.
Drawings.
I know, it's insane, but nevertheless, some
Anybody
people get
who
off
would be
on that.
stimulated by drawings, I mean,
yeah.
come on, get out of the house once in a while.
I have no
You
love.
know that there are
Google
people
or,
stimulated
you know,
by all kinds of things
cruise
that they
the tea
shouldn't
room
be.
at Westland. Do the limbo rock under the thing at Westland.
Yeah, amen.
Oh, another good reason to be doing cruise ships before I get into today's... You know, the good part of this deal is today. Oh, here's that schedule. I promised and I lied. The thing about today's poll, I can read it twice. It'll be 2 o'clock. Thank you, Charlie B. Charlie B continues to be our poll man. He's the poll man. Remember that by Sam and Dave?
Yes.
Mad Dog at 2. That's the Jim Mandit show on QAM. We're a secret. 4 to 5, it's the Power Hour with the Mad Dog and the Humper. Humper's going to be off to Baltimore for the Preakness later on in the week, and so we'll have a lot of that on. Even though he's leaving the station to do the Panthers, I'm sure across the street or somewhere, they're really making use of his fantastic vocal skills, you know, as his time is waning. It's waning over here. Power Hour with Hank and the Mad Dog, 4 to 5. Then Hank Solo between 5 and 6:30. You've heard of Napoleon Solo. This is Hank Solo, which takes up plenty of space. Then we got your Marlin game. Marlins on deck at 6:30. The Marlins at Pittsburgh to play the Pirates 7:05. That should get a gigantic tune-in audience. And then game night with Eddie the K follows Marlins baseball on QAM. We're a secret. Okay, anyway, so before we do the pool thing, and how many years have I been screaming, do not get on those cruise ships? Haven't I been warning people, if you got vacation money, go get on a plane or hop in a car, even though it's expensive for gas, and go have a good time somewhere. Don't go on a cruise ship. You'll probably won't come back alive. A cruise ship ran aground off the Alaska coast earlier today. More than 200 passengers are being transferred to lifeboats and other vessels, according to the Coast Guard. No immediate reports of injuries. Thank God. Thank the Lord. The 299-foot Empress of the North, carrying 281 people, was listing by about 6 degrees after hitting Heinous. Was that Heinous or Anus? Anus Rock at the ass end of the icy strait southwest of Juneau. Well, you know, if it's at the ass end, would you call it Anus Rock?
Sure, why not?
South Petty Officer Chris McLaughlin at the Coast Guard base in Kodiak, be saying. A Coast Guard fixed-wing aircraft and helicopter were dispatched after an emergency radio message was received 12:35 this morning from the ship operated by Majestic America Lines of Seattle. McLaughlin said the reason for the grounding was unclear. He said the ship was not believed to be taking on water. Empress of the North is operated by, they just got through saying that, and they write it again, Majestic Americana Seattle. It's got 112 staterooms, 3-story paddle wheel and galleries featuring Native American masks and Russian artwork, including Fabergé eggs. Well, isn't that wonderful? Okay, I think somebody laid an egg when they made that ship because it's got Source, baby, and the people are like, get us off of here, and please bring us home alive, please. Pretty please. Okay, let's take a look at that poll, or should we do the break first? I don't think we've ever had a poll with this many choices on it, have we?
It's a big one.
654 votes is all we got because by the time they get through reading it, it takes about a half hour anyway. Plus, they probably don't like it. We probably should have done this also for the weekend. That's what Charlie B. said, Mother's Day weekend poll. But we had the sex one on there, and that got 1,700 and some votes. They're much more interested in sex than they are with Mom, you know? Unless they want sex with Mom, which if they're in a trailer park, maybe they're already getting it, you know? Mm-hmm. That actually happens. So it's almost indescribable, my thoughts about that. But nevertheless, I'm sure you feel the same.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody had a little bit too much moonshine. I remember Mike Moonshine at W Snooze. I'm going to start talking about since I'm getting old and feeble, you know, all the old people I used to work with, and they are old by now. Mike Moonshine and his girlfriend, who later became his wife, I believe, Smelly Ellie Gray. Boy, was she a bitch. I'm not going to sell you lousy $25 spots on your show when I could be selling $100 spots on the news, you faggot. Whatever. She didn't say faggot, but she was thinking that. That was after I helped her get the job at INZ, and I don't even... See, I'm just too nice of a guy. That's my problem. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Sure.
Holy Moses, what's wrong with you, man? You're just too damn nice of a guy. So we'll get to today's poll, and the full question is, which TV mom would you prefer to have had as your own? Now, Brandon says that the what's happening was a mistake, that it wasn't Shirley Wilson, it was Mabel Thomas, but it's only got one vote anyway, so who cares?
This is Eyewitness News. In the nation's capital, the trial has begun in the case of Jane Palfrey. She's the woman accused of running a prostitution ring that catered to Capitol insiders.
Her clientele includes a Bush administration economist.
George, do you know that one of your staff was part of that prostitution scandal?
I don't know.
You worked with the guy.
Shows what I know.
George, did you ever go to a prostitute?
Not only once, but twice.
Really?
I'll never forget it. It was a defining moment.
When was that?
Last Tuesday, last week.
Are you and Laura having problems in the bedroom?
Oh, we don't have a problem. Let's ignore it.
Come on, George. You can tell me.
Well, I you know.
What's wrong with your sex life?
As you know, I am tiny, small.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
It does not rise.
There's our Monday morning South Florida greeting for you. 1017 at 560 WQM. Daimler Chrysler moved to undo the most expensive and one of the least successful mergers in auto industry history today, as it agreed to sell its money-losing Chrysler unit for only a fraction of what it paid 9 years ago. They announced they'll sell 80% stake in its U.S. brand for $7.4 billion to Cerberus Capital Management, a private equity investment firm. Shares of Daimler Chrysler were up 3.5% both in Frankfurt and New York just before 10 this morning, although that's off from earlier gains soon after the announcement. Shares of the company have risen more than
About 30%
in the 3 months since it announced it was looking to sell Chrysler. Anybody out there own a Chrysler? Do we have any Chrysler spots? I don't know. And in the story is the picture of that Choyman guy. What's his name? The German guy?
I'm not sure.
Where'd George go?
He, making a stop.
A deposit?
Yes.
You know the German guy with a mustache, with the
I know who it is. I don't remember his name. I saw him already.
Okay. Well, at least you know who it is. Dieter Zetsche. Dieter. Dieter. I don't know. I like Germany a lot, but that name just, it just sends chills up and down my spine. Dieter. It sounds so Nazi-ish. You know what I mean? Dieter. Doesn't it? Sounds like one of those old sauerkrauts. Anyway, here's our poll for today. So, George, I wonder why there was all that dead air. And, of course, only Chris is there. Rhymes with dead air. We'll be lucky to get to 1,000 today. That's not a good way to start the week, is it?
No, we'll get over 1,000.
We got 684 is all we got. We need 316 more, and we got a long way to go. We got the whole show. We got 4 full hours. That's because we don't got no UN basketball game. We got no Marlins baseball game. We got no press conference. We got nothing else to, screw up the show.
We got new and improved toilet paper in the bathroom.
Well, let's hear it for that. Okay, now I hope you only used one square now. It's the old Sheryl Crow wipe, baby.
Half a roll. What are you talking about?
When in doubt, wipe that baby out. Which TV mom would you have preferred as your own? Was our question on Friday? Over the weekend? Whenever the hell I put this on there. 684 wasn't the question Friday. It was the question last night. What am I talking about? Do you have any idea?
No.
Good. Doesn't make any difference, because Jolly Joe is still, an idiot. Let's put some tapes on.
Let's
go.
go.
The more I think about that, I don't know what is more shocking to me. That Holy Moses story, which I revealed a little bit about late toward the ass end last week, I'm not going to go into again because it speaks for itself. That or the fact that this man wants us to play tapes. Tapes are a proven failure.
Well,
they're a disaster, Jolly Joe. They don't work. They don't get an audience, okay? Plus, I never wanted off Fridays anyway, and I was stupidly negotiating that whole situation there.
Well, he never lived through that, so he doesn't remember.
Oh, he doesn't know squat about me or about this show or about you or about talk radio. Nothing. Maybe he knows something about Schmidt kicking the country crap. I don't know. Which TV mom would you have preferred as your own? We got 684. We'll have 700 by the bottom of the hour or thereabouts. Yeah, you're right, Chris. We'll make it. We'll slide on in there.
Yep.
Favorite TV mom, Marge Simpson from The Simpsons, 95. We got a good race going on here, two-house race. And Samantha Stevens from Bewitched has got 94. Now, that's kind of surprising because that's kind of a time thing, isn't it? Bewitched?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that show.
They're dead. They're dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. All the good people are the dead people. That's just the way it goes. I wonder about this cue. Don't get panicky, Chris.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now.
Yeah, that one's good. I like that. Well, I got to preview these before we use them. Samantha Stevens, Bewitched, 94, right behind Marge Simpson's ass. Peg Bundy, Married with Children, 44. Boy, did I hate that show bad. Oh, God. Morticia Addams and the Addams Family, 44. Kitty Foreman from that 70 show has got, how many she got?
About 30, man.
Okay. Jill Taylor from Home Improvement, 28. Wilma Flintstone from Flintstones, 22. Who's your mom? Oh, Will Mom, taking her to dinner. Laura Petrie from the Dick Van Dyke Show, 21. Oh, God. June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver, 21. Carmela Soprano from The Sopranos, 20. Lorelai Gilmore from the Gilmore Girls, 19. Jane Jetson from the Jetsons, 19. A lot of cartoon moms here, you notice? Which probably an improvement in some cases over some of our own. Elise Keaton, am I saying that right, from Family Ties, 19?
Yeah, whatever.
Deborah Barone? Everybody knows Raymond, 19.
Correct.
Barone, that's what I just got through saying. Don't correct me when I said it right, schmuck.
Not Baron.
I didn't say Baron.
You
Maybe
started
she
to.
is. Lily Munster from the Munsters, 18. Edith Bunker, All in the Family, only 14 for Edith? Oh, no. She just went up to 15. Shirley Partridge, that's who I voted for, because then David Cassidy would have been my brother. The Partridge Family, 14. You see my logic? Perverted and sick and disgusting,
right,
and I'm very proud of it. I'm a proud old pervert. That's why they call me Pop. P-O-P. Proud old pervert. Hey, Pop. Roseanne Gardner from Roseanne, 13. Donna Stone from the Donna Reed Show, 13. You'd have to be stoned to watch that. Marion Cunningham from Unhappy Days, 12. Lucy Ricardo from I Love Lucy, 12. Lucy. Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show, 12. One of the worst shows in history.
Bitch, she was a horrible person on that show.
Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch, 10. There's a story. Maggie Seaver from Growing Pains, 8. Caroline Ingalls, Little House on the Prairie, 8. Ann Romano, One Day at a Time, 8. There's only about 4,000 on this list. Every mother that was ever on TV. Well, there's a few mothers. Maud Finley from Maud, 7. Who the hell would want that bitch as their mama? Martha Kent from Smallville, 7. Peggy Hill, King of the Hill, 6. Florida Evans from Good Times, only 6. Oh, now that's, what's her name? Esther Roll, right?
Correct.
And she's dead.
I
love that theme. If I had the energy and if I, worked Monday, I don't want to start out the week by expending a lot of energy. Over the weekend, I spent a lot of time. I actually went back to Woodbine yesterday and broke even. I won $1,500 Saturday, and I pushed my luck, and I broke even, made a big comeback. There we go. Good times. I love it. Anybody who doesn't like that is un comunista, I'll tell you that.
Not a communista.
Olivia Walton, The Waltons 5. That was with John Boy. What was his name? Richard Thomas with a big mole. He had a big mole on
Melanoma.
On his fos. Annie Camden from Seventh Heaven, 5. Oh, man. Barry Watson, he was that kid in Seventh Heaven. There were a lot of interesting people on that show. It's still on, isn't it? Or did they cancel that? Seventh Heaven.
I don't know. I never watched it.
What?
I never watched it.
Louise Jefferson from the Jeffersons 4. She should have done much better than that. Wheezy. I think it's a racial thing myself. Harriet Nelson from Ozzie and Harriet 3. God, she was so boring. All the characters on that show, it was like they were in a perpetual coma. Ozzie just barely ever, his voice barely raised above like a death whisper, And Rick and David. It was just, like even when Ricky was singing, I'm walking, yes indeed. Yeah. You're walking all right, Rick. Right off that plane. Vivian Banks, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, too. That's with, what's his name? Will Smith. And I hate him, and I hate that show, and he makes me sick to my stomach. Will Smith, I don't want to, oh, boy.
Yeah.
He sure can't sing, though, I'll tell you that. Shirley Wilson from What's Happening Now. That's the one where there's this dispute where Brandon says it was Mabel Thomas and not Shirley Wilson. That's only got 2 votes, so who cares? It's a bad show. No matter who was on it, it's still a horrible show. Margaret Anderson from Father's Knows Best won, and Harriet Winslow from Family Matters had 1 out of 703. Yeah, we may get to 1,000. I don't know. That's not really all that important because it's QAM and we're a secret. Keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody that we're on the air, okay? Keep it a big secret, whatever you do. Don't let the cat out of the bag. It's a big secret. Pretend that you're part of a very, very privileged small group and that we're in on some kind of a secret.
All the slime all the time.
When I started losing my hair, I lost my confidence, too. I tried Rogaine, but it didn't do a thing for me. When Rogaine doesn't work, try Mogaine. New Mogaine is scientifically proven to grow you a full, thick helmet of hair, just like Mo from the Three Stooges. After using Mogaine for just 3 weeks, my hair grew in as thick as Mo's. More important, I got my confidence back, too. Now I'm more assertive.
Try your Mogaine today.
Hey, shut up, you lame brain. I was talking.
What did you say?
I said can it, knucklehead.
Ow, my eyes. Why, I ought to...
You ought to what?
I ought to be more careful.
Oh, wise guy, huh? See that?
Hey, let's go.
Well, take that.
Mogaine, specially formulated for people who look like Curly.
10:30. There ain't nothing like that Mo. 724 votes on the poll. We're going to get to our 1,000. Everybody's got a big smile on their face. It's the middle of May, baby. It's El 14 de Mayo.
See.
Whatever that means. And, of course, that means it's dog days. Really bad. Big time. So it's a good thing I'm not taking any stupid calls. By the way, for those of you who missed the calls, maybe we ought to make this a regular segment on the show at about this time every day.
What's that?
For those of you who missed the calls,
Callers need Prozac. Hi, Ron. Chumba.
George is gay. Great show, Neil.
That's it. There you go.
Oh.
That's all you need. XM Satellite Radio shock jocks Opie and Anthony apologized Friday. Did you hear this?
No.
Oh, come on. They apologized for hearing a homeless man's crude comments that he'd like to have sex with Condoleezza Rice, Laura Bush, and Queen Elizabeth. He'd like to have sex with the Queen.
Well, and what's wrong with... I mean, it's disgusting, all those people that he mentioned.
And, of course, they use the F word because it's on XM, so I guess that's what's supposed to make it funny. The remarks were made on their show Wednesday by a guest the duo called Homeless Charlie. As the name of each woman came up, the guest said he would like to have sex with her using language not fit for print, writes the Associated Press. I'd like to F that kind of, F this, F that kind of stuff. Language not fit for print. You can say it on satellite radio, which is about the only reason I'd like to be on satellite radio, plus the fact that a whole bunch of people would hear the show, never heard it before, and we'd, and probably they would promote it, too, as opposed to QAM. We're a secret. Opie and Anthony laughed as they imagined Rice's horror while describing a violent sexual encounter in which Rice is punched in the face. Washington-based XM condemned the remarks. You see, here's the thing that really cracks me up. They put people on the air based on the idea that we're not supposed to be censored because it's not over the air and it's supposed to be outrageous and say whatever you want. But don't offend anybody. We deplore the comments made on Wednesday's Opie and Anthony show. XM spokesman Nathaniel Brown told the AP on Friday he wouldn't say whether XM planned to take disciplinary action. Here we go again. Opie and Anthony, whose full names are Anthony Cumia and Greg Opie Hughes, apologized to listeners on Friday's show. When in doubt, they wimped right out.
Why?
Because they need the job.
I see.
We apologize to the public officials for comments we made on our XM show on May 9th. We take very seriously the responsibility that comes with our creative freedom and regret any offense that the segment has caused, they said. Because the show airs on satellite radio, there are no federal restrictions on its content, and that should be it. That should be the end of the discussion. That should be all you need to know. According to XM's website, the radio service has parental controls that allow users to block access to channels that frequently contain explicit language. These channels are designated with an XL notation. XL. There's some real on there. Can't say the words. The same radio duo was dumped by CBS Radio in August 2002 for running a contest in which they said 2 listeners had sex in New York St. Patrick's Cathedral. They were hired by XM in 2004. The remarks could become an issue as XM seeks approval from the FCC to merge with New York-based Sirius, said Tom Taylor, editor of the horrible trade magazine Inside Radio, that rag. Hey, Tom, who are you kidding, man? XM and Sirius don't want any regulation, he said in Friday's New York Daily News, but it's come up in 4 congressional hearings, and at this point the merger is such a close call, any issue could become important. In other words, they don't really care what they say, but if it's bad for business, then shut up. That's what it boils down to. You can say whatever you want until it starts interfering with our business, then shut up. Gosh dang it. Opry and Anthony. They just, and the thing in the St. Patrick's Cathedral with a couple simulating sex or whatever it was a very funny bit. What was wrong with that? But they pissed off the Catholic Church, and you don't dare, you dash and dare piss off the Catholic Church, or we're going to get your ass fired, because CBS fires everybody. They even fired the I-Man. In fact, if they would have, can you imagine if they would have something to do with the A-Team? I don't know, the A-Team I think was on ABC, wasn't it? I don't know what network it was on.
I don't know.
If it was on CBS, they'd have fired the A-Team and the I-Man and whatever. Because they wimp out real easy since Janet Jackson had that little booby flap. 731 votes on the poll. I think I ought to read the whole result at least 2-3 times an hour, don't you? I don't want to leave any of them out. No, it's a 2-horse race. The rest, that's all I need to do. The rest are all also-rans. Which TV mom would you have preferred to have as your own? Samantha Stevens from Bewitched she's moved into first place, 103. Now, why is that, do you think?
Because she has magic powers and she can, grant you all kinds of things.
Is that what it is?
Sure.
Because we like Elizabeth Montgomery so much, even though she's dead.
That too, but, she could
how
take
can
you
she
flying.
be dead? Anybody who believes there's a God, Elizabeth Montgomery, how old was she when she died? She
not
must have
that
been
old.
really
I
young.
can Google it.
Google it and see. She was a young lady, and we loved Elizabeth Montgomery. Next thing you know, what's her name? Barbara Eden's going to die, too. I just have a feeling. I know, I shouldn't say that. What's this guy doing with all the tattoos? God, is that disgusting. Jesus, God almighty. On CNN, you see that guy with all the tattoos?
I do see it, as a matter of fact.
Oh, grody. Yeah, he's surfing. At least he put that surfing outfit on over that schmutz. Jesus, God almighty.
She was 62.
She was what, 62?
May 18th, 1995, and she was 62.
That's not very old.
No, but older
I got
than
news
I thought
for you.
she
When
was.
you're 64, going on 65 like I am, 62 isn't very old. Anyway, she's got 103 votes. To you, it's old because you're a young whippersnapper. And Marge Simpson from The Simpsons got 97. That's all you need to know. I'm not going to sit here and read 600. As desperate as we may be, because QAM is a
secret.
I wonder if it's Victoria's Secret. You think?
No, I don't.
Oh, speaking of that. It lacks the fireworks of Independence Day or the parades of Thanksgiving, but it doesn't mean anticipation is building for Abstinence Day.
Oh, my God.
All right. This is in the Toronto Star over the weekend, which, again, they're making fun of the USA. And I don't blame these Canucks for making fun of the U.S. because, and not that there aren't some constipated people here, but, Jesus, at least this is a place where there's a little bit of enlightenment still alive, as opposed to the U.S. now, which is becoming even more constipated than the Brits. The yearly celebration of sexual abstinence, when an estimated 100 adherents will descend on Capitol Hill to sing the praises of premarital virtue and educate legislators on the need to keep federal funding flowing to abstinence programs, is becoming a rite of spring. But the May 22nd event could be heading for extinction, just like abstinence. These are tough times for federally funded abstinence programs, and a Democrat-controlled Congress appears poised to cut off cash for programs that have flourished under fascist President Bush and the former Republican leadership on the heel. All those hypocrites. The ACLU is threatening to take the federal government to court to get it to stop spreading what it says is erroneous information about the efficacy of condoms. Legislators are armed with a study ordered by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which shows that young Americans taught abstinence are no more likely to avoid premarital sex than those who haven't been exposed to such teachings. They're just as horny. They're still sliding the old salami. To fight back, abstinence educators have formed the National Abstinence Education Association, opened an office on Pennsylvania Avenue, and hired CRC Public Relations, a well-known Republican fascist firm. If some of the funding is shut off, it will mark a major shift in a culture war that's been fought in the U.S. Capitol for a generation. Successive U.S. governments have spent more than $1 billion on abstinence education since 1996 alone, when various programs begun under Ronald Reagan were significantly ramped up during the Clinton administration. The battle lines are clearly drawn. Backers of abstinence education argue that it is needed not only to cut down on the rate of teen pregnancy in the U.S., but to shape the moral character of future generations. Right. When in doubt, leave it out. Those who want funding cut argue abstinence-only teaching ignores the fact that teenagers will engage in sex and should be taught how to avoid pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases in that context. And by the way, pull and pray is not an acceptable alternative. Louise Melling, the director of the Reproductive Freedom Project at the ACLU, says abstinence programs teach that sex out of wedlock is shameful and withhold information that teenagers must have if they're to make intelligent decisions when they're sexually active, which they will be. Trust me when I tell you, which they will be, and they are, and they're screwing their brains out, whether you like it or not. It also shuts out lesbian and gay teens in the U.S. where marriage is not an option, she says. Valerie Huber, the executive director of the National Abstinence Education Association, says the establishment of a Washington office and the hiring of a major public relations firm was fortuitous, but not a sign that a major congressional battle looms. Too often our programs are defined by those critical of our approach, and Americans didn't have the luxury of learning what we're all about through erroneous sound bites, she says. Her organization has commissioned a Zogby poll, got it?
Got it.
That indicates 8 in 10 American parents want their children taught abstinence, not how to use a condom. Isn't that something? 8 in 10 American parents want their children taught abstinence, not how to use a condom. The abstinence programs are funded through 3 separate streams totaling $178 million this year, a figure that could jump to $204 million next year if Bush's budget wins congressional approval. The real battle will come over renewal of a program that provides $50 million in federal funds each year to the states, with the recipient states required to match $3 for every 4 freed up by Washington, to teach kids just to when in doubt, leave it out. Don't do it, just to think about it, don't do it. That's the only way. Oy vey.
People are ice holes.
They're dead, they're dead, the whole dark cast is dead. They're dead, they're dead, they're definitely dead. Liz Montgomery and Agnes Moorehead, Dick York and the other Dick too. And it's straight that Paul is taking a turn now too. They're dead, like doornails they're all dead. They're dead, all dead, yes, positively dead. Except for Adam and Tabitha, but we're working on that too. So stay tuned and they will be dead soon.
Oh, Samantha Stevens, she's leading it, baby, from Bewitched. Elizabeth Montgomery, 112 votes, and Marge Simpson is in second place. She's holding up number 2, 97.
Well, good for her.
I wonder if cartoon characters actually do use the
depends
TV.
on what cartoon you're watching.
But you never saw a cartoon where they...
Sure.
I'm not talking about cartoons on TV. I'm talking about comic books.
Yeah.
Well, comic book characters don't go to the toilet.
Sure they do.
But get out of here. Like
All
who?
right.
Joe Palooka?
Not those. I'm telling you that they have some adult-oriented comic books and cartoons out there.
Yeah.
Have for years.
I'm talking about like Nancy, and Joe Palooka
No,
and Dick
of course
Tracy.
not. No.
Superman,
They don't have
Superman, although I understand.
Careful where you go.
You better have a super toilet because he takes a super...
That's right.
That's what I'm hearing. But anyway, it was super duper. Check those stamps when you made your bills today. Postal rates are going up again. You know something I think I'm going to do? I should have done it over the weekend. I had a great weekend, by the way, for anybody who cares. Anybody care?
No.
I know that. I mentioned it anyway.
Good.
Just to aggravate people who are like so sour. People who want to give you the Bronx cheer Florida style. That's it. But I should have disconnected this whole mechanism, the little box, and could have taken the monitor down, put it in the closet. I got so much equipment in this closet back here. It's the QAM Toronto studio equipment closet. Probably better stuff than you got down there. And I'm just talking about the stuff that's in the closet. Forget about the stuff that actually is working here, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Check those stamps when you made your bills today. Did you know this? Are you aware of this?
Yeah, I heard about it. Doesn't matter.
What do you mean by that?
I don't write a lot of letters.
Orlando residents took the upcoming increase in stride Saturday as they lined up to mail packages and buy 1 and 2 cent stamps. Pretty soon it's going to cost $1 to mail a freaking letter. Essential since the 39-cent first-class rate is rising to 41 cents. When I was a kid, I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, even though I am, and I don't mind sounding like an old fuddy-duddy because I am. When I was a kid, you know how much a first-class stamp cost?
I don't know, 5 cents.
3 cents.
Wow.
3 cents. If you want a letter to be sent, 3 cents.
Yeah.
Now it's
email
41
costs?
cents. Priority mail will jump from $4.05 to $4.60 for a pound, and postcards will go from 24 to 26 cents, among other increases. Postcards used to be 2 cents, I think, or was it penny postcard? Did they have penny postcards?
Not in my lifetime.
When I was a kid about 100 years ago, I think so. I believe so. 1 or 2 cents. What is it? 41 cents? Jesus Christ. I only mail about 10 things a month, so this amounts to about 20 cents extra. It's not going to affect me that much, said Bob Cox, 80, at a downtown post office branch. He's 80, for Christ's sakes. The post office is like anybody else. They want to cover their costs. Oh, how do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy that just rolls over and takes it. Probably wouldn't be the first time either. Dave Karch, 42, does most of his bill payment online. As a result, he said he doesn't perceive the increase as significant. I honestly don't care. I do. So if you mailed 20 pieces of mail a week, which is a lot, that would be 40 cents a week. It's not the idea that the increase is going to break anybody out there like the cost of gas, but it's just the idea that it's just so outrageous. Karch said if I can mail a letter from here to Jersey and it costs me 41 cents, I think that's pretty good. Another wuss, man. That's the problem with the American public. They just roll over and take it. And that's where they take it, too. The increases today, which the Postal Service said it had to approve in order to cover increasing fuel and health care costs for employees, are the fourth jump in the agency's prices since 2001. You know how much the first-class stamp is here? 51 cents.
Okay.
That's not good. 51 cents.
Whatever.
This time, the Postal Service tied the increases to package shapes, which brought some rates up and lowered others. Under the new system, for example, a 2-ounce letter would drop from 63 cents to 58 cents. Well, who the hell weighs their mail? I guess if you're in a business where,
right.
Mailing is part of your business. But other than that, who's got a postal scale?
Right.
Hikes are determined by the particular expenses of a class that mail generates, said Gary Sawtell, spokesman for the Postal Service. Perhaps mailers can come up with creative ideas to reconfigure their mail into shapes that reduce their handling costs and thus reduce their postage costs. Should be your biggest problem. Consumers also received good news recently as the Postal Service began printing forever stamps. Oh, I don't even understand what that is. I guess if I just read the next couple of paragraphs. As the name suggests, such stamps would always remain valid for mailing, independent of future rate increases, doing away with the need to buy small denomination stamps to add to the envelopes when the old stamps become obsolete. John and Yolanda Kent walked away from the post office Saturday without the forever stamps, but they thought they were a good idea. We've been testing. He's been teasing me that the English have had this forever stamp for a long time. Forever, said Yolanda, 49, of her husband John, who hails from England. He's a Schmitty Brit. Yeah, I think America's finally caught up, he said. But something, it doesn't say how much they are, though. A forever stamp. What are they, about a buck? I mean, what does that mean? That's my question. Of course, this article doesn't answer.
$100.
What?
$100. I don't know.
No, seriously, how much are the forever stamps? Google it, forever stamp.
Doing it now.
Probably take forever. How are we doing on that poll? Don't forget we got Mad Dog at 2 when we get back to sports, because this is QAM.
Or a secret.
And the morning show has been converted to 99.9% sports, because Clarence brought them in there last week and gave them a real verbal whipping. He gave them a what for, baby, let me tell you right now. That's the rumor around the building. That's what Kenny was bellyaching about Friday morning, and rightfully so. I mean, if you think it's impossible to drive that number down lower than where it is now, just wait. Wait till Clarence gets his finger in it, man. He's got his fingers deep in that show.
Rectum.
So what's the answer on the forever stamp? You got an answer?
There isn't one yet.
What do you mean by that?
I'm Googling it every which way, and it doesn't have a price listed anywhere that it's referenced.
Well, what kind of crap is that?
Crap.
I mean, forever stamp, you'd assume that there'd be a premium on it because it's going to, last for the rest of your life. I mean, how many are you going to buy? You're going to buy like 1,000 of them?
Some of the articles that I'm reading over here, it says that the that the price of the forever stamp will change. In other words,
what?
See, yeah, I know that sounds like a scam too. In other words, you pay for whatever it is that the forever stamps cost right now, and they will remain valid forever. But then, if you want to buy more later on, or someone that never bought them at the time, they'll cost differently later on.
Oh, I'd rush out there right now and buy a whole bunch. Wouldn't you? I'd go out there and buy like rolls and rolls and rolls.
Or I'll just continue using email and not sending any letters.
I beg your pardon?
I will continue not sending any letters.
Yeah, but what if you want to send somebody a check?
Electronically.
I think that's a good idea. I can't afford to send you a check because the stamps cost too much.
That's right.
Don't you think that's a good excuse?
Sure.
Holy Moses. 775 votes on the poll. We'll be close to 800 by the end of the hour. And Chris, as usual, he was, what do I mean by as usual? Clueless. As usual, he was confident and he was right. We'll make our 1,000 votes today, even on a Monday in the middle of May. Aren't the kids out of school now or what?
No.
Not yet.
When are they out of school?
I forget.
But you got kids, for crying out loud.
I know that's somebody else's problem.
Oh.
I just pay the bills.
Which TV mom would you have preferred as your own? I don't want to read this whole poll. It's just too many. Oh, you see look at this. They're showing the video again of that 91-year-old man getting smashed and bashed and smacked in the head. There he is.
But that's exactly what Sim says
wow.
did using the
look at that. Just wailing away on that poor old man.
Ow.
Look at that.
Ow,
smack,
stop.
Bang.
Block off. And let's not forget the people.
Ah, look at that. And look at these other people standing around, and they're watching, man. They do nothing. They're standing around watching while this poor 91-year-old dark-complected guy is getting the snot beat out of him by a young dark-complected guy. Leonard Sims, a carjacking victim. This, WDIV, that must be Detroit, huh? Well, there's a lot of that kind of crap going on in Detroit. Oh, they're going to show it again. Oh, and the old man falls down on the ground, and the guy gets in, and he just, off he goes. Man, what kind of maniacs, what kind of lunatics, what kind of barbarians. 774 votes on that poll. Which TV mom would you have preferred as your own? And by the way, happy Mother's Day to everybody, even though it was yesterday. I forgot to say that on Friday. You didn't remind me. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because you don't wish your mother a happy Mother's Day.
No.
And I don't wish mine either because she's
I called
dead.
my sister, though, on Mother's Day.
Did you?
Yes, I did. To
I
tell
didn't
her
know
happy
you had a
Mother's Day.
sister.
Are you kidding me? That's who I went to Montana with, to live with.
Chris, have you ever heard that before?
Yes.
Oh, maybe when he was doing the show on his own, but not when I've been here. Maybe when you were filling in instead of those great tapes. It's like QAM.
It's a secret.
Bewitched, Samantha Stevens, 117. That's because they got the hots for Elizabeth Montgomery. That's got to be it.
Sure, why not?
And Marge Simpson is second with 98. After that, I'm not reading them. Because after that, next is 54 with Morticia Addams from the Addams Family. That was a bad show, the Addams Family. Was the Addams Family or the Munsters the one that Al Lewis was on, Grandpa? He died.
Munsters.
The Munsters? That's what I thought. Who was on the Addams Family? Was that Olivia de Havilland?
John Aston? No, I don't know.
John Aston with a mustache who was married to Patty Douche.
Correct.
Oh, I can't. That's right. We can't say douche. We can say douche box.
Right.
We cannot. What?
It comes in a box.
Does it really?
Sure it does.
I have a line for that, too, but we definitely can't say that.
No.
Definitely can't say much of anything these days. I noticed on CNN this morning, is shock radio dead? I got news for you. Freedom of speech is dead. That's what it's all about. It's got nothing to do with shock radio. It's got to do with freedom of speech. Everything has to be politically correct. Everybody is uptight and out of sight, and it's a bunch of communist, fascist crap is what it is. Just ask Joyce. She'll tell you. That nasty, hostile, smelly bitch. God, do I hate her ass. And the rest of her, too. Hey, Joyce.
Rectum.
I bet you she smells like this old lady that was, standing next to me. You know, why do these old people do that all the time? You're sitting at your machine there at the casino. No, not just that, but why do they have to, practically sit on your lap? You know, don't you see me sitting here? I'm a big, fat, old turd. Can't you see me here? Why are you, practically sitting on the chair that I'm sitting on, you old, smelly bitch? God. See, that's one thing about me. I don't care what anybody says. You know, chronological age doesn't predict your behavior. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I do.
There are people my age who act like old condo commandos, like they're 100, and that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And even an old fart like me ain't going to put up with it. I'm going to do what that guy in Detroit did. I'm going to start smacking him in the head. I'm going to find the oldest, most feeble people I can and just beat the crap out of them, just make me feel better. Not a good idea?
Excellent idea.
I'm going to start doing it.
Neil Rogers Show.
You fairy.
This is your brain. Any questions?
When you got on the airplane, the drink started right away. A couple vodkas, then some tonic and Tanqueray. Hey, give me another one. You started acting silly, like Happy Jack the Clown. You pulled your zipper, and your pants came a-tumbling down. Then you climbed on the carts. Things got started with a fart. Then you do-do-do in front of us all. Joe Rod, don't you know that if the bathroom was occupied, one of us would step aside to keep you from do-doing on the plane.
It got started with a fart. Now, you didn't dump that, I hope.
What?
Whatever that sound was.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Good. Me either. 790 votes. 790. Oh, that used to be WNWS. They used to be a good station for old people. I used to work there for 100 years. W Snooze. Anybody remember Prescott Robinson?
No.
Steve Daly?
No.
Alice Rantel?
No.
Shirley Tweeters?
No.
Steve Kane, Mr. Ego, back before he became born-again Christian and adopted 800 kids?
No.
Stan Major?
No.
Who else was on that station? Barbara Studley?
No.
Oh, my God. I could tell you stories about that bitch. Who else was on W Snooze? Irv Schindler?
No.
We had him on Craig Worthing?
No.
Oh. Jerry Wichner?
No.
He's dead. 790. And before that, of course, it was WFUN. Long before that. Like... So anyway, Rick Shaw on Friday, we talked to Ricky Ticky. He hung it up. 50 years in the business and 150 years in Miami, South Florida, all over the place, QAM, all the way to Magic. And now he's sleeping in. He may just be barely getting up now.
Right.
It's 11 o'clock. Wouldn't you think, I don't know about that, but it seems to me, I don't know about you, but I wake up every morning, even on the weekend, pretty much at the same time. I mean, weekends I'll go back, to sleep. I'll roll, I'll look at the clock, and I'll say, although the weekends, Saturday morning, I get up extra early because I got to go to Woodbine. I got to meet my machine man.
What's a machine, Neil? What's a machine? What do you mean by that? What's a machine?
Seriously, I'm going to really miss those calls. Not. And I would say like maybe once every week or two. Once every week or two, there might be one that's even like the guy with the Sirius thing, the president of Sirius, and that was rather amusing. But is it worth $50 million?
Hi. Prozac for callers. Hi, Ron.
Is it worth $1 million of those? I don't think so.
Aww.
I mean, I understand that I know nothing about what I'm doing.
Right.
That's why I've been on here for 8 million years, because I don't know anything about talk radio, and certainly tapes, old, outdated tapes, even if they're only from days before, talking about stuff that's old news, that's always very scintillating radio. Not.
Right.
And I told you this before, way back when, and you just sit there
You were
like,
right.
Yeah. Oh, good. Did you hear that, Chris?
Write it down. You were right.
If you thought what preceded this regime was bad, and it was... I told you, this current regime here, they haven't got a clue. They wouldn't know how to turn a radio on, much less how to operate one. God. And all I got was, he's a good guy, he's jolly, like Santa Claus. Well, great. Santa Claus may get stuck in the chimney one of these years if he doesn't cut the crap. That's the problem when you got a big fat ass. I think he's got tapeworm. That's why he's obsessed with the tapes. Either that or just stupid, one or the other. It's got to be one or the other. Or maybe a combination of both. Don't you think we've tried these things? Don't you think we've been there and done all of these things, Jolly Joe? Don't you think we know a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit about what we're doing? And if George is good enough to be doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the summer times, and we continue being number one summer after summer after summer with George doing most of the shows, then why wouldn't he be good enough to do Fridays, assuming I would do that thing, which I'm not doing it anyway?
We can only have so much of Neil Rogers replacements on the air before it's not the Neil Rogers show anymore.
Right. Was that the word?
Sure.
Is that what he said?
Yes.
To you?
Yes.
When was this?
I told you after your big lunch meeting, whatever. Repeated what he said on the phone, that he wouldn't say anything behind my back, that he wouldn't say to my face, and so he repeated everything that he said to you at dinner, and that was his rationale for having that opinion.
Tapes blow. Okay. They don't get any numbers. They're stale. They're outdated. People don't want to listen to them. But other than that. 797 on the poll. We're approaching 800. Are you excited, Chris? No. What about lunch today? It's only Monday.
We had bacon. I had bacon.
From Howie's, no less.
You bet.
Well, let's at least give those people a little bit of a plug every now and then, okay?
Chris has got the menu. He knows where they are.
They're busting their ass over there to bring you guys all that
They're over
free
here
bacon.
like 5 times. Just before 9 o'clock, they're over here 5 times already.
Really?
Yep. Everybody takes advantage of them. They bring
for
food to
the
the other
morning
people
show,
too.
no doubt. For the Kenny and Bull morning show.
Power orders from them and everything.
And
yeah.
probably for Evan Skolnick. I sure hope he wasn't eating trafe. He sounded like a good Jewish boy to me. Evan Menashe Skolnick from the Sun Sentinel that they had on again. Another funky. Was it Ethan?
Yeah, Ethan J. Skolnick.
Well, what difference is it? Oh, Ethan J. Skolnick. Well,
yeah, make sure you get that J in
excuse me. Excuse me. Like somebody knows who that is? Now, how many listeners do you think he brings to our station?
About 30, man.
I mean, and of course, as soon as he sat down, Kenny's got to go into this thing about, well, how's your sex life? Ho, 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 ho. There, I said it's sex. I realize we can't say very much, but. And then we found out at the end of the end of the show that Sunday night is sex night at Kenny's house.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's when the wife goes out of town.
I was going to say it is for me too, but that's because I'm not home.
Right. Bush and the media playing us for fools, writes Dave Lindorf on Smirking Chimp. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. And by the way, Dan LeBastard, let me just say this to you, okay, because I heard a little spy report over the weekend. He was reading some emails or something on the air. Oh, I'm going to sound like Neil Rogers. I'm reading on the air. The day that you sound like Neil Rogers will be the day that Geldy starts sounding like Walter Cronkite, okay, Danny boy? What, all these newspaper people who are pretending now to be broadcasters. It's not bad enough we got all the ex-jocks who pretend to be broadcasters. There are no broadcasters anymore. And we got that Rick Shaw thing. Play a little tease of that. We're going to play that in honor of Rick Shaw retiring on Friday. Hope you're awake, Ricky.
Do you want to play a little now?
That's what did I just say?
I don't know.
Days of the depression that everything was not for 24 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Current temperature 71 and going down.
There's a little tease. It's a 10-minute thing. And speaking of that, now he read my email on Friday, and I'm sure he had a million emails, so he didn't respond. And then another Ricky read my email last night and didn't respond. When it says read and no reply, you know what that's like? It's like a slap in the face. I don't want to start getting playing Butch Boss with anybody. But you know how sensitive I am about all that MySpace stuff and everything, all those emails. 1,375 MySpace friends on our page. I think that's pretty impressive. That's far beyond what Miguel had in mind when he decided he was going to,
There's no question.
What?
That it has grown farther than anyone.
And we don't have any fake people on there like LeBastard. The fake Hank Goldberg and the fake Eddie K and the fake... oh, Jesus. Oh... Bush and the media playing us for fools, Dave Lindorf says. He says the idiot American media are giving Bush another free pass, running stories now that the U.S. is willing to talk with Iran, but only about how to calm down the Iraq conflict. What a pathetic joke. How can anybody take this claim from the White House that it is trying to negotiate with Iran about Iraq seriously when the U.S. is simultaneously threatening Iran with a catastrophic attack? While the State Department is claiming it wants to negotiate with Iran on the narrow issue of settling the Shia-Sunni conflict inside Iraq, Vice President Cheney stands on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier Stennis in the Persian Gulf. F-18 Hornets are arrayed carefully behind him for maximum belligerent effect and threatens to attack Iran if it tries to obtain nuclear weapons or tries to close down shipping in the Persian Gulf. This is not the way to get Iran to agree to accept a role as peacemaker in Iraq and to rescue America from a military disaster in that benighted country. If the White House truly wanted to settle the conflict in Iraq, Bush would call for broad talks with Iran on settling differences between the two countries on a whole range of issues, from nuclear proliferation and nuclear power to trade and including a regional solution to the crises in Iraq and Afghanistan. But, of course, the White House has got no interest in any of that. Bush and Cheney, indeed, have been pushing ahead with their goal of attacking Iran, which is basically their ace in the hole for defending a collapsing presidency from imploding entirely before the scheduled end of Bush's second term of office. That's why they've moved 3 powerful aircraft carrier battle groups into position in the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea, an armada big enough to launch a massive air assault on Iran on a moment's notice. The last thing the Bush gang want to do is end the conflict in Iraq, which would mean surrendering to the insurgency. Better from their perspective to let American troops continue killing and dying until the January 2009, when a new president will be left with a thankless job of cleaning up the mess. Endless war has become the modus operandi of this administration, but obvious as it all is, the complicit U.S. media won't admit it. They play along instead with the fantasy that the administration is trying its best to bring it all to an end. They report on administration claims to be interested in narrow negotiations with Iran on Iraq, as though they're making serious efforts toward peace, when in fact it are nothing but propaganda meant for the American consumption. Nobody in the rest of the world takes this nonsense seriously, and nobody in America should either. Writes David Lindorf on the Smirkling Chimp. Wonder how many people are reading our stories. Well, I already know how many are reading them. A fair amount.
Couple.
A few hundred. I mean, it's, what are we going to do? Remember when we used to be great, when we used to be legendary?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're a big secret. 808 votes on the poll. Which TV mom would you wish would have been your own mom? And, of course, we probably should have put on there, I'll stick with my own mom or something like that would have been nice. But now that Mother's Day is over, we don't have to be, lie about it.
Good.
No, I don't want to put that on. It's too corny.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's one thing I don't want to be, it's corny and syrupy and like that, Mushy. I don't want to be the Moosh Man. The Mooshmeister. Stephanie, Samantha Stevens on Bewitched, 119. And Marge Simpson on The Simpsons, 103. Those are the only ones, in the running. And it looks like Bewitched is running away. That's probably because I played that thing. Now, if I played some Simpson drop in, do you think that would help Marge?
Sure.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Oh, finally. Gil's moving up to the big leagues, boy.
There's
He
a Marge one.
prefers the
There it is.
company of men.
Who doesn't? Feeling stupid? I know I am.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, 12 minutes after 11 at QAM.
Oh!
11:17 at 560 WQM. Somebody sent in, and this is not. Oh, this is from University Dodge. So this must be Ray, whoever the mysterious Ray is down there.
Right.
Up there, in there. I like this poll. In fact, this may be tomorrow's poll. You know what? Keep the polls coming, by the way. Keep them faxes coming. And somebody did fax in the information I wanted about that Forever stamp. See, thank you so much.
There was
We
a
don't
paper
need-
jam. That's why you had a whole bunch at the same time.
Well, jam on it, baby. Here's the poll for tomorrow. If my doctor told me I had 30 days left to live,
About 30, man.
I would blank. Have as much sex as humanly possible. Well, of course, doesn't that go without saying?
Absolutely.
You betcha. Get drunk and stay drunk. Spend my life savings on eating and partying. Boy, I could sure eat a lot. Boy, I'm going to tell you something. That would be one hell of a...
Party. Yeah.
Crawl into bed and stay there. End it all right now. I would see the world. I'll put it all on American Express. Who cares? Make amends with those I've wronged. Oh, isn't that sweet? I wonder if Larry King would say that. Make amends with those I've wronged. Become real religious real fast. Hunt up Joyce and kick her in her balls, and I wouldn't do anything. Yeah, the last one there about hunting up Joyce, that's a good idea, yeah. I'd take like a 2x4 and jam it deep inside of her, okay? Any orifice I could find. That's how much we hate that disgusting, self-appointed censoring bitch. Now, speaking of censorship, this is shocking from Josie Lambeat in the Palm Beach Post. In his column, The Lowdown. You can't get much lower than this. For once, WFTL AM 850 ranter Joyce Kaufman is speechless. Remember Joyce Kaufman? She used to be on the light bulb with Norma Kent and Mr. Ego and all those other people. Kaufman has been harping on immigration nonstop on her show for nearly 2 months. Oh, she's like Lou Dobbs Jr. Is the target of a complaint to the FCC. West Palm Beach immigration attorney Eileen Joseph filed 2 weeks ago because of a statement Kaufman supposedly made April 25th. What does she say, Josie asks? That illegal aliens should be hanged on the Central Square. I know she corrected herself today after saying that criminal illegal aliens should be hung. Joseph said, that kind of talk is indecent. Kaufman didn't return no calls. Give me a break. I mean, it's a stupid thing to say, but then again, so is nappy-headed hose. But does that mean somebody should complain to the FCC? Eileen? Jesus, get a life, will you, please?
I have no life.
God almighty, this is America for you now. Oh, I'm offended by what you said. It was indecent. You're indecent. That's what you are. All these professional troublemakers. Oh, there's the guy. There's Dieter.
$7 billion for all
The guy with a mustache, the Daimler Chrysler guy. Well, you were out doing a ace and a deuce, doing a Joyce, or whatever you were doing. And I was saying, who is that guy from the Daimler Chrysler spots with a mustache?
Yeah, I don't know.
And Chris was going, boo. Oh, you would have said boo also?
Probably. The German?
Yeah, the German guy.
I don't
Kraut.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
With a silly mustache and the glasses. Dieter Schmendrick. I don't know what his name is. 828 votes on the poll. We're going to make 1,000 easy day. I'm going to tell you one thing. As long as we can get 1,000 votes on the poll every day, my paychecks keep showing up a day early. I'm showing up. That's all. That's it. What else? What is not to like? Am I right about that?
That's right.
We get paid the same, with or without your stupid-ass phone calls, with or without...
Hi, on, Chumba. Prozac for callers.
Without the 5 people, you know, and that's basically all we got left. This morning I'm listening to Kenny and Bo for about 20 minutes, and thank God you came in there and cut that right off. But they had a old, dark-complected Carl, one of the chronic sports callers. That's the only call that I heard. And he was talking, it was like this, hey, guys. The phone was so muffled, and he was talking, of course, about Ricky Williams. Oh, my God.
Are you talking about this guy here? Dieter Zitz?
Dieter Zetzi.
Okay.
Dieter Zetz. I don't know what his name is, and I don't care. Anyway, he's got a big, ugly, silly mustache, like a catfish. Isn't that like a catfish mustache?
Okay, that's not what I was
Catfish are neat, though, by the way. Anybody
Sure they
out
are.
there is going to get a tank?
They're trade.
And they crawl along the bottom and they eat all of the crap. Oh, here's another poll suggestion from the Palm Beach troublemaker on the day Neil croaks. What would be your response? I'm just going to start reading some of these poll ideas. because they're not taking any calls anyway, so they can't start calling in to build the pool. Oh, I got one for that pool. Yeah, well, good. Put it in a bottle. Put a message in a bottle and stick it in Key Biscayne. On the day Neil croaks, what would be your response? He died doing what he wanted to do. Well, I can imagine who I was doing at that point then. He's macking on Jesus right now. See, using Phil's material there, and that's sad.
That's all right.
Just like old Paul and Ancient Ron. I know he is up there looking down at us. Oh, yeah. He's in that big radio station in the sky. He died a free man, no wife. He was a rotten bastard and good riddance. And look at the way he spelled riddance. Riddance rhymes with kittens. He was a lovely human being, blah, 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 and who's in the will? Now we're getting to the meat of the matter. Who's in the will? 833 on a poll, by the way. Let's see how's 1 and 2. It's good because there's 8 million choices on there, and everybody's got at least one. That's good. But I don't need to read anything after the first two. Samantha Stevens, which TV mom would you have preferred as your own? Samantha from Bewitched, 121, and Marge Simpson from The Simpsons, 104. Why Marge Simpson? It seems awfully, I don't know.
She's funny. She's cool. She's a good mom. She cooks. She's attentive.
Seems awfully silly to me, Charlie B., but nevertheless, he put the poll together, and she's doing very well. So what would I know?
Also name recognition.
I don't watch The Simpsons. I'm sorry.
She's modern, I know.
I'm sorry, I don't watch The Simpsons.
That's all right.
So here somebody faxed me the information about the Forever stamp. It says it will always be available at the price of a first-class stamp in effect at the time you buy it. Oh, I see. To introduce the stamp to the public, the Postal Service is offering it today at 41 cents. Customers may use the stamp as soon as they wish, but the stamp prices will not change until May 14. When prices change in the future, the Forever stamp will sell at the new 1-ounce single-piece first-class mail price. So, in other words, the incentive is to buy a whole bunch of them now, I guess, what they're trying to say.
Right.
In other words, when it goes up to 43 cents, then the Forever stamp will cost 43 cents. But if you're mailing out stuff like in a year or 5 years or 100 years and you're still using the Forever stamp, go out and buy a whole bunch of them now is what I would do. I'd go out there and buy 1,000 rolls of Forever stamps. Is that a good idea?
Sure, why not?
As opposed to paying your bills, okay? Don't pay your bills, and of course, like you do, pay them electronically. I don't know. Am I old-fashioned because I refuse to do that?
There are people that still are, but, in the future, I think this mail thing is going to be a specialty item only, obviously.
It's going to become a specialty thing?
Yeah, it's going to get expensive, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's just so much easier to do everything electronically.
So people can, hack into your all your accounts, and, they can already
do that anyway.
Yeah, that's right. They can do it anyway. So why not give them a chance? Give them a chance to have a little bit of fun.
Right.
Dearborn, Michigan. You know Dearborn? Oh, baby, a lot of Arabs there in Dearborn. WKNR Detroit with offices in the Sheraton Cadillac. No, it used to be WKNR Dearborn with offices in the Sheraton Cadillac Detroit. That was the ID. Keener 13. That may have been the greatest radio station of all time. Too bad we don't have no Keener jingles. I think you got some somewhere. Let me look and see. I'm positive I don't have them. Oh, boy. We got some old IOD jingles for Blind Mike. W-I-O-D. Too depressing. That's like suicide-inducing on a Monday. Oh, I do love this one, though. I love when we used to be able to play the fart sound in the middle of it, the golden gasket. Oh, it's already on there. Wow. That's 2 farts I almost thought I heard today. That's bad. That is really bad. I think Chris might get fired for that. That wasn't a fart. It was just a technical glitch. It was
a drum roll. It was a rim shot.
Yeah, that's what it was. A police officer in the Detroit suburb of Dearborn, WKNR Detroit. Now, see, I keep saying that wrong. Not that anybody remembers that, except maybe J. Michael Wilson with Rodney the Rodent, the talking rat. A police officer in the Detroit suburb was allowed to resign after admitting he took marijuana from criminal suspects and, with his wife, baked it into brownies. He was a brownie hound. What's wrong with that? The department's decision not to prosecute former Captain Edward Sanchez left a bad taste in the mouth of at least one city official who vowed to investigate. If you're a cop and you're arresting people and you're confiscating the marijuana and keeping it yourself, that's bad. That's real bad. City Councilman Doug Thomas told the Detroit Free Press. That's like apprehending a bank robber and keeping some of the money for yourself. Well, why not? If he's got like 10 million, what's a million? Huh? I'll give 9 back. The newspaper said Sanchez, who resigned last year, declined to comment. Police Commander Jeff Geisinger left a phone message with Detroit television station WDIV saying Sanchez resigned during an internal investigation. Geisinger didn't return subsequent calls asking why Sanchez was not prosecuted. Not prosecuted. Cops can make brownies with weed, but if you do it, man, you're going straight to the slammer. The department's investigation began with a 911 call from Sanchez's home April 21st, 2006. On a 5-minute tape of the call obtained by the Free Press under the Michigan Freedom of Information Act, Sanchez told an emergency dispatcher he thought he and his wife were overdosing on marijuana. I think we're dying, he said. We made brownies and I think we're dead. I really do. What a brownie hound.
What an idiot.
Yeah, Sanchez later told police that his wife took the marijuana out of his police vehicle while he was sleeping. In a subsequent interview, he admitted he got it out of the car himself, put it in the brownie mix, and ate the brownies, and thought, I'm dying over here.
Oh, God, Neil.
First you get down on your knees, fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect, and genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Do whatever steps you want if you have cleared them with the pontiff. Everybody say his own Kyrie eleison, doing the Vatican right. Get in line in that processional, step into that small confessional. They're the guy who's got religion. I'll tell you if your sin's original. If it is, try playing it safer. Drink the wine and chew the wafer. 2, 4, 6, 8. Time to transubstantiate. So get down upon your knees, fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect, and genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Make a cross on your abdomen. When in Rome, do like a Roman. Ave Maria, gee, it's good to see you. Getting ecstatic and sort of dramatic and doing the Vatican right.
Well, I got some bad news for me. And that is I just had 2, Brandon and the Miami Palm Tree guy who's anonymous, both emailed me the Rickshaw, the clip from YouTube, from YouTube. Rickshaw signing off on Friday.
Yeah.
And I approved it on the first one, and I'm looking on here, and it didn't show up. It didn't transfer over. Now, why would that happen?
There's a delay involved sometimes.
Get out of here. Delay involved.
We've had this conversation about MySpace.
Yeah.
And when you acknowledge that it doesn't work most of the time, you'll be a happier person. And then when it does work, it works slowly.
I see. So in other words, it's like on a delay?
There is a delay.
Don't you think I've done this before? I've approved a comment and I looked over there and bada bing, it's there immediately, not sooner.
The only thing consistent about MySpace is that it isn't.
I see.
That's their only constant, is that they don't have one.
Well, that's depressing because I was going to tell everybody to look on there, and he is crying, man, bawling like a baby, Ricky Ticky. By the way, if he ever calls in again or anybody on the bat line, you're going to have to keep your eye on it because I got the thing shut off.
I will.
I'm just telling you that
I can
just for future information. I got that baby shut off. It's dark. It's real, like Time made OJ. Remember Time magazine made OJ so black? Well, that's how the screen looks on there. It's real dark. It's finster. It's Schwartz. Now, are you looking on the thing? How about you, Chris? Are you looking on our MySpace page where the comments are?
Going now.
And it's the YouTube. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because it's a YouTube thing, it's going to take longer to get on.
And that's another thing. YouTube also has its own, packet of issues.
Issues?
Yes.
They have their own issues. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Issues and tissues?
Yes.
Well, that frosts my fat ass a little
and
bit.
There's also a chance that.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm reading. I'm still going through here. There's also a chance that it could be screwed up, and you might have to, approve it from the other source.
But I already deleted it from the other source because I thought I put it on there. That's what I'm so pissed off about. What?
They're probably resending it right now.
Who is?
Whoever sent it to you the first time.
Well, maybe Brandon will send it again. Send it again, Brandon, or Miami Palm Tree, or everybody else. I'll try. I'll try to get on there. But anyway, he was bawling like a baby, and they were handing him Kleenex, and he was took a deep breath. I can understand after 50 years in the business. Now, let me ask you something. When I do my last show, which is a year and a half away or thereabouts, when I do my last show, you think I'm going to get all weepy and like that? I'm not knocking Rick because I love Rick Shaw, and he's been really a good friend to us. But I'm just saying, do you think I'm going to get all psychotic?
Probably not.
I'll let out a deep breath, all right. It'll be like a sigh of relief. Oh, thanks God, like that, is what I'll do. That's my prediction. Of course, maybe not. Maybe I'll get all bleary-eyed and I'll be calling. Of course, I won't be taking any calls. You think in a year? Now, that's a good question for you. In a year and a half, do you think we'll be back to taking calls?
I don't know. That all depends on what happens in a year and a half.
Well, what do you mean by that? Assuming that, the show, that we continue and complete the the deal.
Who knows? Somebody might do something in that amount of time.
You mean like die? Is that what you had in mind?
Oh, okay. No, that's not what I had in mind, but sure, that works too.
That might work. That might solve a lot of problems, you know. Not that we wish any ill health to jolly old fat Joe, old St. Nicholas, but Jesus, God. I think that might be the only answer. Holy Moses. I might have an assignment for, well, not what he had in mind, though. Oh, now, wait a minute. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
My BlackBerry is buzzing.
So this was a comment you approved? Or what?
It was a comment I approve, and, yeah.
I don't see it displaying yet, so there's a delay.
What do you mean by that?
I don't see it yet. I don't see that comment yet.
Oh, man, what a life, what a life. That's all I can tell you. Okay, let's see. Now, did I get it resent here or what? I'm looking, and it says no problem. Well, I don't know what that means, Brandon. What does that mean, no problem?
Resend it.
Resend it, please. Resend me that thing, because it got screwed up. I don't want to say to the palm tree guy, because the palm tree may just be a palm tree. Okay, let's see. Oh, now here, I like this poll. Now, maybe this is the one for tomorrow. We need this because this is WQAM. We're a secret. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would listen to WQAM more often if there was more dolphin talk, there was more hockey talk. Oh, yeah, that would do it. There was more Geldy. There was more non-sports programming. Non-sports programming. Ooh. They played more tapes.
Yeah.
This is a great poll.
It is.
It's also from University Dodge, by the way, from Ray, or whoever does these polls. George had his own show. Joyce died. Oh, yeah, speaking of I'm dying over here, that's something we can pray for. I'm on my knees right now, baby. Joe Rose came over to QAM. The ticket went off the air. I already listened day and night. That's a good poll. I think that's tomorrow's poll.
Sure.
Even better than the one about if Neil croaks, and better than the one if I had only 30 days to live. We're a secret. Just keep that in mind, okay? Yeah, I'll get that thing on there, and then because when I get it on there, then after that, I want you to play that segment of Ricky Ticky from the Blast from the Past, Rick Shaw. See, I'm not one of these people that believes, you know, he did the last show, and then we talked to him on Friday, and he got interviewed by all the local media and everything, and there was a couple articles in the paper, and then that's it? Goodbye? I don't believe that, you know. I'm a believer in, like, you know, pay a little bit of a tribute for crying out loud. Here's a guy who's like freaking legendary, baby. He survived 50 years in this horseball business. Man. And I did get an email reply from Ricky. But now Rick Shaw, just from Ricky. Some of these guys are very sensitive. You know, if I, like, rip them on the ear a little bit, they start, relax, Ricky, hope you feel better. He's come down, he's ill in a little bit. And he's still hoping to get laid very soon. I hope for his sake he does. I think he'll feel better, don't you?
I think so.
20. Oh, you remember that story, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
See, here's some inside stuff that we're not going to tell you folks out there, but here's a story about a man called, well, whatever he was called. We're going to get 1,000 votes today. I'm feeling really good today. I don't know what it is. There's something in the air everywhere. Whatever the hell that means. Catch my drift?
Are you drifting?
I'm drifting. 21 till noon. We got Mad Dog coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon on QAM. Don't tell anybody, though, because it's a well-kept secret. We don't want anybody to know. Don't be starting running around town saying, hey, QAM's got some pretty interesting people on there, even though they're very old and they're not as hip and all that other crap. Boy, that Barry jackass. Hey, Barry, you are a jackass, okay?
You fairy.
Even Barry rhymes with
You fairy.
Pathetic. Just another shill, you know, he's just on the payroll. And you notice he's like a chameleon. He used to be in Greg Reed's pocket. Now he's in Joel Feinberg's pocket. He's the pocket rocket, Barry Jackass.
Ricky Williams said goodbye to football. Oh, Ricky, how can you do this? I want to stroke your legs and sniff your crack with my greasy nose. But you'd rather smoke a spliff. Now I'm pulling up my flag for the season. You dashed my hopes of manly bliss. Tears well up in my eyes for no apparent reason as I bust another dish. There's no AC in my trailer, and then I find you're no longer here. You validate my life as a failure and broke the hearts of all the sports queers. I don't want to fantasize about another job
It's your toes I want in my mouth on behalf of undersized lads who like Sport Hole Radio. Leave us like this.
Thanks, Brandon.
Only Shaq's buns we can hear.
Who's? Oh, 11:45. We got that on there. There's Rick Shaw. This would be a good time for you to get that thing ready.
It's ready.
Now, are you looking at that thing there?
I'm going back to
on the
it now.
MySpace page. No, I want you to look at it because I want everybody to look at it if they've got our MySpace thing, because it's the first comment there. It's the YouTube video of Ricky Shaw.
There it is.
Farewell. You seeing it?
I'm seeing it.
You can play the audio from that. I can't do it from here.
I'm doing it.
You can play. There it is. You got it?
It's loading.
Check it out.
2.7.
It's all come down to this. A moment in time that puts an exclamation point ending 50 years of playing rock and roll music on the radio. I did the math. That comes out to nearly 975,000 songs, 170,000 hours behind a microphone. And along the way, I've given away about $5 million in cash and prizes. It all started by accident when my high school English teacher invited me to see the radio station where he worked part-time on weekends. I went, and as the fates would have it, his newsman got sick. My teacher looked at me and said, "You can read, you do the news." I called my mom, told her I was going to be on the radio. I was 17, usually got a D in penmanship, as most of the folks around here know, but did pretty well when it came to reading.
Calm down, Rick.
The 5-minute newscast, I read it over and over, almost had it memorized. Sat down at the table opposite my teacher, and when the record ended, he turned on the mic and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, it's 9:55, and here's Jimmy Hummel with the news." In the deepest voice I could muster, I started to read. The biggest clock I had ever seen was on the wall opposite my seat, and I finished with 15 seconds.
The biggest what he ever saw? Oh, clock.
The teacher filled to the top of the hour, and the station joined some network for a national newscast. I had done it. Didn't blow a single word I could legitimately claim to be a broadcaster. The station manager called, wanted to know who I was. My teacher told him that I was hired for $1 an hour, that was the minimum wage back then, to read the news after school. 6 months later, I witnessed the very first in a long series of disc jockeys being let go. He was the rock and roll guy, and there was nobody on the remaining staff who knew anything about rock music except me. Program director called me into his office for the first time of what would be many closed-door sessions. The music director had picked the songs to be played that afternoon. There was a big stack of 45s on his desk, and he said, "Here, take these into the control room. You are now a disc jockey." And the rest, as they say, is history. I knew as I drove home that day in my 54 Ford stick shift, listening to my new radio station, I had just stumbled onto my life's work. Sitting in a room alone, talking into a little machine, and hundreds and thousands, maybe even millions of people would be listening along the way. 1956, rock and roll music was beginning to happen. Elvis was on the Dorsey Brothers TV show, and Ed Sullivan was waiting in the wings, ready to fire the shot that would be heard around the world. No books to read, no classes to take. There were very few experts in the rock and roll radio business back then, and strangely, by the standards of the day, the few that were making it happen were pretty
Well, this
young.
has got 5.5 minutes to run yet.
They weren't burdened with that. Here's how
4
we
minutes.
run this whole thing.
4 minutes yet.
Nobody had ever done what we were doing.
Yeah.
The soap operas, which were
You don't
the
want to run this
mainstay
whole
of
thing, do you?
radio business for all those
Do
years.
I? It's not my show.
This new thing called rock
Since
and roll
when?
music.
Aren't you
Radio
running the
stations
tape?
all over the
No,
country
that's
had
enough.
the bullet changed.
No, seriously, because then nobody will look at that thing. It's on the MySpace
Oh, there it
page.
is.
And then, yeah. And the words don't match, the audio doesn't match the video. So whoever did not the
These
greatest
things
job.
happen sometimes.
These things do happen. So I think the appropriate thing now is for you to fire up that, and the timing will be perfect, fire up that Ricky Ticky tribute.
Radio! Days of the Depression, everything was out for 24 minutes away from 8 o'clock, current temperature 71 and going down. 58-degree low in Miami tonight.
WQAM, Fortune Phone.
Calling for 610, Stu. Who knows what's going to happen? I do.
Hello?
I guess you know who this is. This is Dan Chandler from WQAM Radio.
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Here we go. You are listening to me right now.
I am. The amount's $610, right?
Of course that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's fantastic. Not really.
It's Sir John Henry and the Soul Riders. Sir John Henry and the Unbelievable Soul Riders, an 8-piece band busted out with soul, a group that's definitely within sight. Sir John Henry is tonight at the Tigers Den North 3000 South Andrews in Fort Lauderdale, along with Matt Gallo and yours truly, Rick Shaw. Tonight's admission only 75 cents. It's the mini dance tonight in Fort Lauderdale.
Going to be a gasoline, man, like Lee Sherwood says. Even if you don't know how to dance, you just want to sit there and watch. These guys are absolutely out of sight. A full 8-piece orchestra going to be up there wailing at you tonight at the Tigers Den. You going up there, Tyler? No. Think.
WQAM, Fortune Phone.
Thank you very much, Stu Bowers. Jackpot at 567 right now as a result, of course, of the Dan Chandler win this morning. Dan Chandler's fortune phone jackpot building ever. Oops, I think I made it the wrong dialing there. Try it all over again. We hate to do that because we get the people on the telephone, and it's the wrong number, and their name doesn't jive with the one that I have on my little paper here. I think this will be a very bad scene. Okay, we'll try once again. It's 567. Very easy number to remember. 567. Jackpot right now. This is a 685 exchange, which is North Miami.
That's right.
Let's see if we can. We haven't had a winner on the program in a long time.
No.
Hello, is this the Schwab residence?
That's right.
Is this Mr. Schwab?
That's right.
Mr. Schwab, this is Rick Shaw calling from WQAM Radio. How are you tonight, sir?
Pretty good. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Mr. Schwab, you're on the air right now, and we're calling you in reference to a little contest we have, which is called Fortune Phone. If you can tell me how much money we have in the jackpot, it is all yours, free of charge, with no strings attached. Would you like to take a guess, sir? I beg pardon?
Okay. How much did you say?
Yeah, well, you tell me. If you know how much is in the jackpot, it is all yours, free of charge, all the money. It's a lot of money, I'll tell you that.
30,000?
No, it's not quite that much. Actually, it was $567 there, Mr. Schwab. I'm sorry to say that you didn't know, but we might be calling you back again, so next time have that radio on. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Have a nice night.
Good night, sir.
Okay, bye-bye now. All right, $568 could be yours next hour. Five.
Pretty eyes of the summer's moon, they call her dawn.
21 minutes away from 8, WQAM Rick Shaw, most music on a Wednesday nighttime. 71 degrees, colder, low tonight 58, generally fair and cool as the weather we're through Friday. Biggest ever for the season's 4. Little flashback right there. 1964. 1965. 1963.
That's right.
Close.
Tiger Radio.
G-S-Y. Jefferson's greatest sale of the year. G-S-Y. Jefferson's greatest sale of the year starts tomorrow.
Hey there, Ricky Ticky here. Want to lay some words on all you aspiring young and old musicians alike. Mena Music, that's the place for all of your needs in musical instruments. You talk about Vox, all right, Mena's got it. Fender, Gibson, Moss Wright, Ventures Guitars, Mena's got it. Ludwig Drums, 30% off the top. Shure Microphones, 30% discount. It's Mena Music Company, 5721 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. Mena Music Company. You scoot on up, look for the cat with the wild beard. That's my main man, Julie. Mena Music Company. Fox with all the rest, 5721 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. Do it at Mena.
Go see my main man, Julie. You know Julie up there? He's a wonderful person.
I'll bring him here tonight.
You will? Oh, you will.
Most music, WQAM.
He's smoking and joking with me, Taro. You think that's pretty funny, huh, fella? You're fired. They're looking for work. Hey, you know, you made a promise.
I'll keep my promise.
Yeah, you promised me you were going to bring me the Lone Ranger.
What promise?
He promised he was going to bring the Lone Ranger down here for 17 cents tonight. You want to go with him, man?
Stay with the horses, Kima Sally.
You want to stay with the horses? That's right. Okay, here's Bobby Darin.
If I were a carpenter, you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? No. Would you have my
I have to give that a little thought there. Would you marry me anyway? As if I was a carpenter, of course. It's rated number 6 of the brand new survey from Bobby Darin. It just got the top 10 in, got all the votes tallied up. And here's the way things shape up here. Matter of fact, that was number 7, If I Were a Carpenter, so we'll scratch that off. We just played it. Number 10 is Day Tripper. Number 9, If I Were a Puppet. 8, Don't Bring Me Down. 7, as we said, the Carpenter song. 6, Woman. 5, Talk Talk. 4, Everyone's Gone to the Moon. 3, Hooray for Hazel. 2, I Love How You Love Me. And number 1 is Born Free.
Think thin for a minute. Now, think thinner. Buy Diet Pepsi in the carton for the real thin price of only 39 cents. Yes, 6 10-ounce bottles of Diet Pepsi at a 25% savings. Now, think downright skinny. Buy 2 cartons.
My dog has played. WQAM. 15 to go before the 8 o'clock hour. Most Music Miami, WQAM. Rick Shaw Show.
I'll step inside if I may.
Come right on in. Have a little party here. Eric Burton and the Animals. C.C. Ryder. Oh, we need somebody in here, I think, to sort of maintain law and order.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. I believe that.
Here are the Chiffons.
always tell an HIS guy, they're really out of sight. You are so right. That trim HIS look is made for guys on the go.
Wherever you going, you go like a sport baby in HIS Sport Show. Is that right?
That's right.
Traditional Continental modeling blazer models with sharp details, new colors, and a fantastic assortment of fabrics. They're all a gas. $22.95 to $35 at HIS stores everywhere. For example, would you believe at Jackson Byron stores? Go get them. 11 minutes away from 8 o'clock, WQAM, most music time. Next hour, the fortune phone jackpot worth $568. WQAM. Right.
Jefferson's greatest sale of the year. G-S-Y. Jefferson's greatest sale of the year starts...
Since they're out of business, that's enough of that. Too many, whoever put that clip together?
Yes.
Too many long spots that they left in there, poorly edited. Not enough Ricky Ticky and too many spots, but it was okay.
It was something.
I just looked up. He had a 2.5 in the morning. On our station, easy, 25.54, because Magic's probably older, skews older now.
Sure.
Because old farts like me listen to that music. But he could get a 3-share easy in the morning on our station. What do you think? Next Monday morning, 7 to 10, Rick Shaw on QAM.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
All right.
How they hanging, Brady?
It's been brought to my attention that your ratings are dying now. Well, I want to show you what a big asset I was to you and how. You thought you could find somebody good enough to fill my baggy pants? It ain't easy. There ain't no chance I'll ever be coming back. Outside of considering a lucrative contract. If you want to know what'll save you from shutting that transmitter down, why, that's easy. Sure.
All you need is more. All you need is more. All you need is a show. These are old time slots only got you to thank. Despite that, my ratings have bottomed out in the tank. Which radio has a revolving door for the gayest of all whores and squeaky shack. All you need is more.
Now see here.
All you need is more. All you need is a show.
You bite away something. Jack told me to give you this.
What?
You see. What are you going to do, fire me, huh?
Like old times.
You're the best, Chicken Neck. He really is. When he says, and an audience, I don't know what it is. I've only played that 8 million times, but every time he says that, it moves me.
Great.
It moves my bowels or something.
Does it?
He does. That Chicken Neck, man, he be the best.
The bomb diggity.
Yeah, but, budget your money carefully now, Chicken Neck. 900 votes even on the poll. We'll get to 1,000 by hook or by crook, even if we have to make it up, That was a nice little tribute there to Ricky Ticky.
Sure
I mean, enough is enough already. I think, seriously, it could be the shortest retirement in history. If our management had anything on the ball, they'd be on the phone with him right now saying, hey, how about 7 to 10 starting Monday?
That's funny.
What do you mean by that?
Is he going to do a
they had
sports
anything
show?
on the ball?
Sports?
Oh, not a sports show, a music show, an oldie show. You think he couldn't do better than a 1.8?
Oh, of course he could.
A 1.8 in men? Do you have any idea how disgraceful, how revolutionary, how in a negatory way? Not that I want to knock those guys, because I'm sure they're good guys, but, that show. 904 votes on the poll. I'm going to read them all, okay? This ought to kill a couple hours. Which TV man? There he goes again. That's all he wants to do is kill hours and kill time and kill the idiots that write stuff like that. I just can't stand them. And by the way, now, because I opened up a big mouth, now I've had like 500 YouTube video. You know, they keep sending it. Everybody and their brother is sending it. We got it. Thank you. And it's right there if you want to look at it and listen to the audio right there on our MySpace page in the comments. And there's a Ricky Ticky looking tearful. And you know what else?
What else?
Old.
Oh.
Well, who the hell am I to talk? Now let me ask you. He's 68. This is bad. I shouldn't say this because I just did something really nice for him, you know. And heartfelt, by the way. I really admire him. He's a great guy. Although he didn't respond to my... and he shouldn't respond to it. We talked to him on the air. Why should he waste his time responding? He's got people... He's got millions of faithful listeners out there. I don't listen to him. I mean, I've heard him on the air, but you think I would listen to that crap? It's not his fault. It's Bob Hamilton's fault. Play the music on Magic. In fact, Rick is probably delighted he don't have to play that swill anymore. Because once upon a time he played great music, but that was before Bob Hamilton infected Magic. Is he still there, Bob Hamilton?
I don't know.
And I got another brainstorm, too. If we can't get Ricky Ticky to come over live, let's play tapes of the Rickshaw Show in the morning. Since
All right.
Bill likes tapes so much,
that's a
let's
great
play
idea.
tapes of Ricky Ticky, yeah.
Let's start with that 60s air check there.
Guaranteed crack a 1-8. I mean, even Mo never came close to a number like that until we put him on from 2 to 4, and he had that famous 1 point.
Oh!
Wow. That was the defining moment, I think. That was the beginning of the absolute end. And remember, I was screaming about that? How can any day part in the middle of the day when people are awake get a 1 point on this legendary radio station, especially following the legendary...
Neil, God!
Right. How's that possible?
I don't know.
But he did it. And then of course, they put on... Oh, man. And he also did a 1 point.
Oh!
I think they actually had a 0.8 1 hour in there. Okay, let's not start knocking everybody's numbers, okay? It's a tough business. It's a horse crap business, and we're all doing the best we can. Mach's the Lebanon, as they say in Lebanon. Mach's the Lebanon. What?
That was cute.
That's what they say. That was cute, considering how old and feeble and senile and febrile I am.
Still got your moments, old man.
I got it, man. Every now and then. It's like the callers. If you take 5,000, one of them might be...
Yeah, those are
9/11 on the poll. We got 911 votes. Well, I'm not going to read them all. I don't have the... I just can't do it. I mean, I could do it, but it's too insulting even to me. When we get to the point when I got a poll with 700 choices on it and I keep reading the poll, that's when you tell me, okay, I'm shutting you off right now. And then you go play that awful music you always play.
Right.
Doesn't he play awful music, Chris?
No, I like it.
See, you're probably a conspirator along with him. You're probably encouraging him.
See,
to
other
play
than
that.
Sean, who turns out is old because he talks about the racetrack, I've only gotten rave reviews about the music.
Sean? You mean the
Sean,
pole
the pole
Sean?
guy, yeah. I didn't know he was
He's
an old
not
guy.
old.
He goes to the track. He talked harness racing in the last fax.
He did?
I think I still got it here somewhere.
Well, you never sent it to me.
Sure I did. That's the one that poll came from. He's talking all about harness drivers or horse racing.
Get out of
The
here. Are
Kentucky
you a
Derby
crazy
and stuff
person
like
or
that.
what?
I'm sure I got it here somewhere.
You're a nut.
Oh, here it goes.
You're
I'm
nuts.
sending
I
it
have
back
the
to you.
last poll right here. It has non-Cuban...
I accidentally
with
saw
socks.
R. Emmett Tyrell of the American Spectator.
Yeah, well, what the hell's that got to do with harness racing? Where do you say anything about harness racing?
For the 2-horse race, the Derby looks pretty good. I admire the jockey Calvin Burrell's dedication, blah, blah, blah. Who knows that stuff that ain't an old person?
Everybody watches the Kentucky Derby just because you're such a hard ass. And this week we got the Freakness. Now, have you talked to Dave Johnson, my
No,
close
but he'll
personal
call.
buddy?
And, of
What
course,
do
if
you
he
mean by
doesn't, I'll
that?
call him. You know, he always calls.
We got the Freakness coming up. Now, I wonder if he's getting screwed on that deal again, too. I can't believe we had a Kentucky Derby without Dave Johnson calling it somewhere. He probably was calling it right there in his living room, wouldn't you think, sitting on the sofa?
I imagine.
This is going to be very absurd. It's going to sound really strange. Because I did UM baseball for those 6 years, 5 on radio and 1 on TV. And I went to a couple of games at Marklight Stadium just as a spectator after we no longer were doing the games. And there's a story behind that about how the games wound up on GBS. And that's because I told Ron Fraser that I was going over to GBS. Because at the time, it looked like they were going to hire me. Remember when Lee Fowler was at GBS? No, you don't. No, you don't. But anyway, and it didn't work out, and I stayed at W Snooze. But anyhow, I would go to the game, and I'm sitting there in the stands watching, and I'm doing the play-by-play in my head. And I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't go to the games anymore because I would be doing the play-by-play in my head. I was making no sounds with my mouth, but I was doing the play-by-play in my head. And what a shame about those Sabres, huh? That just makes me sick. Oh, it makes me want to vomit. It looked like they had Ottawa's number the other night, man. It looked like they they had it made in the shade, and then they snuck the joint out. I wonder who's doing this Edmonton-Boston game.
9:46 the time of the goal.
Bob
Murphy
Cole.
and Simpson assisting. Gray
Bob Cole just celebrated his 185th birthday.
to the playoffs.
But he's still got a great voice, and they still love him here in Canada. Eh? Good old legendary old man Cole was a merry old soul. If he just knew which teams were playing, it would help. Okay, here's the deal. Which TV mom would you have preferred as your own? Samantha Stevens from Bewitched, 140. I'll just read like maybe 10. How's that? Do I have your permission to do that?
Yes, with my
Marge
blessing.
Simpson from The Simpsons, 107. I beg your pardon. It's not even close anymore. Bewitched is pulling away, baby. Bewitched. They love Bewitched. They love Elizabeth Montgomery just like we do because she was great. And maybe because they thought she was hot, too. But she was fine. Would you say she was hot?
She was attractive.
Cute. She was attractive, but not like in a real super
like smoking
sexy
hot.
way.
She was pretty. She was a pretty lady.
She was a pretty lady.
Nice lady.
You stepped on Guitar Man.
No, I did not.
So he's probably going to be dead, too. And guess who else I had a email from over the weekend? KJ's wife. What's her name again?
Jeannie.
Jeannie. She's a sweetheart.
sweetie,
She's
yes.
nice. Which TV mom? Let's see. Marge Simpson second with 107. So she's 33 behind Bewitched. Not going to catch her. And then after that, Morticia Adams from the Addams Family, 63. Peg Bundy, Married with Children, 57. Kitty Foreman from that 70s show, 38. Oh, that 70s show. That's the one where that little screamer was on. Right?
Yes.
That little screaming Mexicano.
Whatever he is.
And what's his name? Ashton
Kutcher.
Ashy Coochie Coo. He was on there. He looked good for about 5 minutes a long time ago. Jill Taylor, Home Improvement, 38. June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver, 35. And Wilma Flintstone from The Flintstones, 32. What about Mom from Rocky and Bullwinkle? I guess there wasn't no Mom. 9:26. By the end of this hour, will be over 1,000 votes. They're pretty damn close to it. And then they'll be talking about it at the water cooler, man. Then they'll say, well, you know, that Neil Rogers, all he does is read stuff on the air. Yeah. Let me say it again. I could read the Chinese phone book, okay, from A to Z and still make it interesting and amusing and humorous. I don't want to pat myself on the back and I just didn't hurt like hell. But you know something? That's the truth. All these pretenders out there, this market is so full of swill. And you notice how it's getting so much worse? When we have Ethan J. Skolnick on here in the morning show, that's how desperate they are, you know? Anyway, why do they do it?
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you feign ignorance for the sake of the show or something?
Yes.
Sports is good.
Sports writers are bad.
Sports good.
I'd like Chris, since you don't know who any of them are, I'd like Chris to tell me one sports writer who's a good broadcaster. And don't tell me Dan LeBastard, okay?
I hate him.
Do you? I see.
Oh, yeah.
I only saw him. Now, I will admit that I've got associates out there. I don't want to mention them by name.
Professor.
I don't want to say anybody by name. But there are people out there who are like enchanted with his shtick, and in fact they do some attempts at comedy or whatever, and they're not just doing strictly sports, which of course is our downfall here. But I saw him once on ESPN on TV a couple of years ago. I mean, he's just a buffoon, an idiot. He's somebody trying to be funny who wasn't, is what he came across. Now maybe you can give me a rundown. Chris.
What do you need to know? I mean,
what did you say he was?
Stupid.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
He's he actually did when he was doing his ESPN radio, and we were ESPN radio the first time. He would come in here on a Sunday to do his radio show from here.
Yeah.
And didn't really talk. I mean, now there's only him and I here basically. Never did anything other than say, hey, where's the bathroom, you know? And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But
yeah,
I've heard his show 2 or 3 times near the beginning, and if I could have poked my eyes out while I was driving, I would have done it because, you know. And the fact that he has that sidekick who I don't even want to name.
Not Stu Gatz.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I didn't like him when he was here.
Yeah.
And he was only a producer. Now that he's over there, it's even worse.
Are you picking on my good close buddy Stu Gatz, who doesn't belong on here even to say hello? Goodbye, maybe, but definitely not hello. There are a lot of people like that, and that's why the business is in the tank.
Tuck it in and hold it. See, if I can interrupt this for just 1 second. This is the definitive Todd Pettengill bit when he goes into this particular voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Just for the benefit of the audience who are keeping track. Not that I'm knocking him or anything. He does some really funny stuff, but...
Sounds like you have got one bone.
But...
You're even worse than William Hung.
Absolutely.
All around the world, people have heard. You should throw a conscience and just call it quits and stop butchering the hits. stop the fat talk and lose that phony hawk. All around the world, people have heard. Every single second that you are on stage, I feel like I've got road rage. You look fine, little ladies, who wear mommy's makeup, but grown-ups in their cars and the bars across the nation cannot wait till you're done. You're an abomination. All around the world, people have heard. It's hard to be everybody's good pal. You're more painful than a root canal. Anti-applause. Everyone knows. Anti-song. The world of charts. All around the world. People have heard. Never liked a single song that you have sung. You're even worse than William Hall.
Look at this thing that just came over again for another one of our chronic faxes. Like I said, keep those faxes coming. Okay, they sure beat the phone calls. Calls suck. We'll leave the callers, the great callers like Chronic Carl and some of those people for the sports shows, you know, because they got the important stuff to talk about. Do you see how long this fax? Well, I guess you did. You sent it to me.
proofread it, did it?
It says, if I got news for yous, I just discovered a donation-funded, non-commercial, free-form radio station with a website that contains many archived radio show compilations of unusual and unpredictable moments and personalities in radio throughout history and across the country that it calls Air Checks. And one of these is from your show, and then it says, all right. The station is WFMU, 91.1 FM in New York City, and 90.1 FM in the Hudson Valley. The website is WFMU.org. The Air Checks page with the clips is WFMU.org/playlist/AC. To find your clip, go to that page, click Edit, and at the top of the window, select Find, then enter your name in the search box. It's an hour of mixed material from your WIOD, WSUN simulcast days. Oh, God! From what I could tell, the material is during your first week of the simulcast, right before the Waco Branch Davidian massacre, pre-naming days of the new Miami hockey team, and around Pesach, Passover.
Oi!
If all this were from the same period, that would be about April 93. I was away at college, so I missed that dynamic period of your career, it says here. Well, I didn't miss it. I miss it now, though, I'll tell you that. Oh, man, that's 14 years ago. I'd be 50 years old. I'd be a spring chicken, baby. Do you know how young 50 is?
Yeah.
Trust me.
For you, yeah.
It says, I know you're hosting a different, more sober type of show now, so it's great to listen to this previous incarnation. A more sober show?
Yeah, in other words, they're saying it's great to listen when the show used to be good, you know, before Joyce, before you couldn't say anything anymore.
Before we got our balls
I
cut
think
off?
that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, but I'm making a lot more money now.
I know.
It says, you sounded so alive and upbeat, laughing, joking with the callers. That's right, you had real callers with real personalities throughout the state, both men and women. Oh, I remember those days, before QAM. The humor seemed to come directly from your conversations with the callers. You were stirring it up with the callers from Lutz, including the Chronic from Lutz. You said you were kicking ass in Lutz and taking calls from Newport Richie. You were accused of polluting the Tampa-Sarasota airwaves. Another caller said this was the best week of radio ever. You learned that the female, Chronic from Bradenton, was born a Japanese Jew from a mixed marriage, and you made a card of her saying, Neil God, in a very sexy Japanese voice. You also played a medley of Neil God recordings, which you can now recapture if you no longer have them. Oh, yeah, we got a lot of that stuff. We can't play it anymore. Because I say GD in there. You know, like there's that bit, the song.
Right.
Which I would like to play. I used to play it on my anniversary every year, but we can't play it anymore. We can't do anything anymore, baby, because of freaking Joyce and because Joe Bell's a wuss. And he sits back and he's terrified of that bitch.
WIOD.
Oh, Neil, God.
God.
Now, see, I know I'm going to say.
More power than El Presidente, man. I'm the most powerful guy. Yes,
See,
I am.
Neil, God.
More power than El Presidente, man. I'm the most powerful guy in the world.
Absolutely correct.
And that's
tragic.
Takes forever to get that taste and smell out of your system.
While 86% of newborn boys in this country are circumcised, the procedure is widely performed without any sort of anesthesia.
I have no preview. I'm dying over here.
Okay. Well, that gives you the idea of that. We can't play it. It says, you mentioned George, but none of the clips had him responding on the air. You told the caller you were 5'9" and weighed 193 pounds. Well, that's not too bad. So I weigh about 5 pounds less now. That's 14 years ago. That's not so bad. It's not so good because I'm looking in the mirror back here and I look like a big fat slob, and I am. You were excited to soon sit in the WIOD's founder seats and like Mike Keenan. The hour-long clip ended with your in-studio interview of Al Goldstein. Oh, my God, Al Goldstein. What did I say to him?
Who knows?
Oh, and did I knock that thing down? Yeah, I did it again.
I'm a fat Jew.
Yeah, well, we know that. He used to be. Now he's slim and trim. It's called the starvation diet. And who was there with Abe Hirschfeld's press agent? I don't remember that. Since this material is yours, you'd provide access to it on your show's webpage and or your personal MySpace page. You could even play most of it for reminiscence sake, since there's only one call that mentions the phrase for rectum opening that you can no longer air, as in ass. It can be dumped or bleeped. P.S. Other material on the webpage are vintage jingles from other stations, Stan Freberg material, and numerous one-hour pieces of Bob Lasseter, including Christmas specials. Well, thank you so much, my chronic friend. Isn't that good?
That's great.
And we could probably, put that together on tape and play it on air, because Joe likes those tapes. When somebody sits across from me at lunch and looks at me with a straight face, what was that place where they stuffed me for lunch? And the soup was great. The steak sucked. What's that place?
I forgot.
It's in the Fountain Shops in Plantation. No, is it? No, it's not the Fountain Shops. It's on Broward Boulevard. It's just west of the Fountain Shops. What the hell's the name of that place? The soup was delicious, and the steak was nasty, man. It was weak. Bad meat. There's nothing worse than bad meat. Take it from me.
It wasn't on Fridays or something, was it?
No. It's a place I never heard of before.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's a chain. Come on, you can do it.
Houston's, Morton's.
No, not a steakhouse.
I'm
Churchill's?
Church's?
No. Yeah, Church's Chicken. It was Church's. It was Bojangles, baby.
Chick-fil-A?
At least they didn't. No, not Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is good, you're always telling me. I've never been there. I've never seen a Chick-fil-A.
Well, they got these freestanding ones sprouting up all over the place. Maybe you'll get one in your town.
Get one what?
A freestanding Chick-fil-A.
957 on the pool, and Bewitched seems to have it in the sack, in the bag. 146, and Marge Simpson 111. For those who keep track, and we do have people out there who keep track. And you know what kind of people they are?
I have no line.
That's exactly right.
Plate, then call Disney Wedding DJs.
Hey, Jiminy Crickets and Tinkerbells, it's time to get this party started. So hi-ho, it's off to work I go.
Every Disney Wedding DJ gives your special day that special Disney touch.
Isn't the bride a real beauty? Well, I guess that makes the groom a real beast. I'm kidding, of course.
Disney Wedding DJs do more than just play great music. They're also your master of ceremonies.
And now, appearing for the first time as husband and wife, put your hands together for Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Joking. It's Mr. and Mrs. Sheldon Finkel.
Make your wedding reception an animated affair to remember with Disney Wedding DJs.
I'd like to wish the happy couple a wonderful wedding night and that our lovely bride doesn't discover it's a small world after all. Good night, everybody.
Now, didn't that sound a little bit like Ricky Ticky right there?
A little bit. By the way, Jay Alexander's?
That's it.
From Faxer.
Well, how the hell did they know that? Maybe I guess they remember.
They remembered their memories better than both of ours.
Right. Well, how the hell did I remember a name like that? But at any rate, it's a nice place. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's in a little strip shopping mall by, I don't know, west of the Broward Mall, just a little bit, like block west. At any rate, the soup was great. The steak sucked. Maybe it was just a bad piece of meat, Wouldn't be the first time I've had a bad. Anyway, 960 something. That's not Chris Myers I'm looking at. Who is that on there? Oh, God. If I ever saw Chris Myers on CNN, I'd have a nervous breakdown. And Chris Myers was WKAT when I started there. He was the underling to Sonny Hirsch, the sports underling. And, of course, you don't even know who that is, do you?
Sonny Hirsch?
No, Chris Myers.
No?
I bet you Chris does. You don't know who that is?
Chris Myers from ESPN?
Yeah. He still looks the same. He's still got that bizarre. He still talks the same, too. He can't talk. He reminds me of Clarence. He's an overgrown sports nerd. Although he did do a good interview with O.J. years ago, and he ripped him an ass, and I like that. Nice going, Chris. Not you, I mean Chris Myers. And you, too.
Well, gee, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome for whatever you do. We don't know what it is yet, but once we figure it out, man, we're going to start paying you some big bucks. You believe me? No. 969. I say we shoot for 11, baby. Call me crazy. Go right ahead. Oh, there's that Dieter Schmendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Every Daimler Chrysler thing, they got him on there. You know, because everything is a TV spot. You know,
That's
everything
right.
is a. That's the world in which we live. All these innocent people are dying, and all there are statistics. You know, 48 more over here, and 60 over there, and 2 more over here, and we just had another bulletin on there. NATO worker dies by the Afghan border, and just statistics. That's all. But the important stuff, like Dancing with the Stars and that Sanjaya, I keep playing those bits. Now, I saw him for the first time. They had some clip on one of the Talking Head channels.
Oh, boy. You've avoided him up to this point?
Talk about...
Aiming.
Yeah.
Is there,
and
do they
ugly.
have any, will you listen to me?
Sure.
Do they? Because I don't watch American Idol or any of those shows, Dancing with the Stars. Do they have any straight people on any of those shows?
I think 12-year-old girls is his fan base from what they
Or
were
is
saying.
it a prerequisite that you have to be...
Gay.
Well, 12-year-old girls don't know from...
Gay.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
right.
They're still in love with Nick Carter.
That's right.
And every other queen that came down the road. Oh, how dare you say that? Where's that Nick Carter bitch? And that's one of my favorite calls, actually.
In the voicemail?
No, that's not it. That's the Nick Carter DUI.
No, I thought it was a female.
Oh, here she is. And I did it again. Well, I'm having some real technical issues because I'm too worked up.
Okay, I was in the car about a half an hour ago listening to you.
Mhm.
First of all, Nick Carter has more talent in his right toe than you will ever have, and he's not a pineapple head, you stupid fat faggot.
Who's she calling fat?
You know, she was so emotional about that. She was like overwrought, just foaming at the mouth, or making sounds with her mouth. 974 votes on the poll, and we're going to go for 1,100 today by 2 o'clock. And Chris, if we don't get to 11, it's bye-bye, baby. Now we can do it. Confidence high?
Yes.
I like that poll for tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to gussy that baby up right now. I would listen to QM more often if, and we should take that right to, right to management, and they'll look at it and then they'll wipe your ass with it.
His?
Whose? Joe? Jolly Joe?
His or his own?
It's going to take a lot more than that one page. I'll tell you that.
Maybe a ream.
See, one thing about me calling people fat.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
Nothing. Chris made a funny face.
Oh. I wasn't even thinking about him. What I was thinking is that if you're fat and it's somebody much fatter than you are, then you can call them fat. But if you're fatter than they are, how the hell can you call them fat? Now, you got to admit Jolly Joe's a lot fatter than I am.
Okay, yeah.
I would say his ass weighs as much as my whole body right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like Chris, now I don't call you a fat slob very often, maybe 20, 30, 40 times a week, but you're fatter than I am.
Yeah.
Now, what do you weigh now? About 250?
Yes.
So you weigh like, 65, 70 pounds more than I do. 60 pounds.
You're a little guy.
You can say that again. Wouldn't be the first time. Just months after the terrorist attacks of New York City in September of 2001, America's so-called mayor, Rudy Giuliani, took the first official step toward making himself rich, writes the Washington Post. It was on December 7, 2001, 3 weeks before leaving office as mayor of New York, that Giuliani sent a letter to the city's Conflicts of Interest Board asking permission to form a consulting firm. The broadly defined company, Giuliani Partners, would bring more than $100 million, providing management consulting service to governments and business over the next 5 years, according to a Washington Post source. That fame and success turned Giuliani into a Republican frontrunner for the 2008 presidential election and transformed him from a moderately well-off public servant into a globe-trotting consultant whose net worth is estimated to be in the tens of millions of dollars. In crafting its image, the firm took care to burnish its most valuable asset, the worldwide reputation Giuliani had earned from his composure and leadership in the days after the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center. No client has ever approved or worked on without a full discussion with Rudy, said the firm's senior managing partner Michael Hess, former corporation counsel for the city of New York. Clients of Giuliani Partners are required to sign confidentiality agreements so they don't comment about the work they receive or how much they're paying for it. Though now running for president, Giuliani refuses to identify his clients, disclose his compensation, or reveal any details about Giuliani Partners. He also declined to be interviewed about the firm. Because of his secrecy, a request to visit his wood-paneled offices overlooking Times Square was turned down. A complete picture of the firm and its business is difficult to obtain. This report is based on a review of corporate, government, and court records, along with scores of interviews with clients and government officials who've interacted with Giuliani Partners, says the Washington Post. How do you like that? Dun, 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 dun. Isn't that something, huh? And you think they're in it because they want to do good, because they're benevolent, wonderful people who are really interested in the brotherhood and all this other crap? And Mom and Apple Pie, even on Mother's Day, I bet he was busy raking in illicit funds from God only knows who. All of them. They're all a bunch of crooks. They all ought to be in jail. They ought to be doing the limbo rock at Westland in Hialeah. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Oh, I mean,
Absolutely. Excuse me. When is he coming back? You know something? I wouldn't mind having him back on. Now, you
I've been saying that. Listen, I've been saying that, haven't I? You've been laughing at me.
I wouldn't mind having him back on in the morning. We can go back to fighting and feuding and all. A lot of the people in the audience thought that was all contrived and made up.
I know, that made it funnier.
Believe me when I tell you, none of it had to be contrived or made up or fabricated or exaggerated or any of these things. Because believe you me, but I still say, and I'm not talking about him and that one, because that one's leaving. That's why he's on a lot this week, because Hank is going to be going to Baltimore for the Freakness. And so Geldy will be on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, like Apollonia said, and look what happened to her. We need 122 votes to get to 1,100, and we got 100 minutes to do it, man. Chris is confident. He is riding high. In fact, he's probably going to eat a couple extra lunches just because of the euphoria.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
After years of drug abuse and controversial rehabilitation, Beach Boy Brian Wilson is ready to release a collection of his latest compositions.
Thanks for granting us this interview, Brian. Hey, Brian, do you have any idea how retarded you sound? I'll show you what I mean. Here's how you sounded back in '62 from this early Beach Boy recording session.
Hey, man. Did you like it? My ears. Man. Okay, wait. Listen. Okay. You like it?
Oh, that's very nice, Brian.
Did you like it?
Well, it's a little hard to dance to.
Do you like it?
Yeah, very nice, Brian.
The Brian Wilson collection of burned out compositions.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Master copy available now on eBay.
Do you like it?
Well, I've got to be going.
Do you like it?
Yeah, here's our response. There you go. That's the South Florida response to you, Brian. Oh. Man, that puts the Bronx cheer into, makes it pale into insignificance, you know what?
It is great.
The Florida cheer. In fact, let's just, 4 hours of that tomorrow. 10 to 2, 4 hours of, that's our comment to Joyce and to Bruce Beasley and to, certainly to Fat Jolly Joe. 994 on the poll, and I think Chris can relax. I think we got 1,100 licked. And you know me, I have pretty good expertise when it comes to the licking part.
So I've heard.
Now, did we leave anything off this poll for tomorrow? I'm not going to ask the audience because then I would have to take calls. There's no chance I'm going to do that. And you notice, by the way, the difficulty I've had. When did I stop? When did I shut it off? Around 11 on Friday?
Thereabouts.
Yeah. See, one thing about me, the reason that they pay me the big bucks is because I can go forever. I'm full of it, man. When you're full of it, you never run out. And I'll say it again. I could sit here. I could read the newspaper. And some days I do. I can read the newspaper for 4 hours every day and be more entertaining and more listenable and more amusing than some of these other pretenders out there with a big mouth. Is there any doubt about it?
None
no.
at all.
So here's that poll for tomorrow. I would listen to WQM more often if... Oh, I like this. I really do. Don't you think this is good? It's very timely,
great.
too.
It is.
It's timely.
Very timely,
at a time when Jolly Joe and Clarence and Joyce are on the verge of turning us into Hungarian mazurka radio. Don't be a jerka, play a mazurka. I'd listen to QM more often if there was more dolphin talk. Oh, yeah. If there was more hockey talk, that would do it. That would seal our fate. If there was more Geldy, speaking of seal. If there was more non-sports programming. Now, that sounds like a revolutionary communist approach. No, non-sports programming. You mean like...
Oh, God!
Who would want to listen to
How about if I was on from like 6 in the morning till midnight? How would that be? If they played more tapes. If George had his own show. What do you think of that, George having his own show?
I think it's akin with some of those other suggestions in there.
If Joyce died. Hey, Joyce.
I'm dying over here.
If Joe Rose came back. If the ticket went off the air. And I already listened all day and night. all of the day and all of the night. I already listen 24/7, even in my sleep. Well, we sure love those people, man, and we need a lot more of them. That's what we need. We need a lot more loyal QM listeners, although don't say it too loud because it's a secret. It's a big secret. Don't be telling anybody about this station or about any of the people on the air or stuff like that because it's a big, fat, effing secret. That's right. Brace yourself, says the Scum Sentinel. Broward County's population expected to grow by almost 400,000 in the next 13 years. Another 500,000 people, where we're going to squeeze them. I guess they can all eat at that, what's the name of that place you just told me, Alexander's?
J. Alexander's, yeah.
J. Alexander's. You ever eat there?
No.
Don't.
Never heard of it. All right, I won't.
No, it might be good. I might have ordered the wrong thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back sometime. I'm not saying it was really bad. The soup, I guess that's one of their specialities, you know, that they're famous for.
Mm-hmm.
Is their really nifty soups. In fact, Norma Kent had a bowl of soup. They brought it in a pail. He just stuck his head in there. And I kept thinking, well, what an improvement. Although the newcomers will generate thousands of jobs, the price of their presence will be steep, says the Scum Sentinel here. Oh, by Buddy Nevins and Robin Benedict. I thought Buddy Nevins was gone. I thought they dumped his ugly, nasty ass. He looks like he just crawled out of a dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
Take the water supply, for example, he writes, and she or he or it. South Florida has been under restrictions since March, and to ensure there will be enough for hundreds of thousands more residents, water will have to be desalinated, recycled, or pumped from deeper holes. Now, let me ask you something. I know nothing about desalinization of water.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Is it a complicated, expensive process?
It's expensive, and it's energy-consuming is what it is.
Oh.
It's not so much complicated as it takes a lot of power, electricity.
Because
to do
you'd think with that big bunch of water called the Atlantic Ocean sitting out there...
You have to boil the water to desalinize it. You have to distill it, boil it.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there might be a newer, better process, but last time I learned about it, it had to do with boiling it.
So in other words, if you're ever stuck on a rubber raft out there, take along some sterno and boil the water from the ocean to stay alive. Now, what happens if you drink the salt water?
Well, first of all, it doesn't do you any good because salt is one of the things that
dries you out.
That water is trying to get out of your system,
right.
Trying to flush the salt out of your system. So you're not quenching your thirst at all, and
Dries
ultimately you'll
innards.
go crazy.
Dries out your innards, and you have to scrape
it goes
out
to your
colon.
brain. The salt goes to your brain, and you go insane before you die of thirst from drinking salt water.
The salt goes to your brain, and you go insane.
That's right.
My God, now that explains what the Beasleys have been drinking.
Insane
I knew they were
membrane.
drinking something. Anyway, it says water will have to be desalinated, recycled, or pumped from deeper holes, choices that are expensive. New power plants and power lines will also be needed, and history has shown there will be resistance against them. New technologies must be developed to dispose of the increased amount of waste, and money will have to be found to build new schools in a county that's running out of land, and where students already are learning in portable classrooms. Why are all these people, you know why they're flocking to Broward? Because nobody wants to move to Dade. And because a lot of people are moving out of Dade, and a lot of unsuspecting people are coming in from other parts of the country because they don't realize what an outdoor septic tank South Florida really is, what a toilet, what a sewer, what a nightmare, what a backwater crap hole it is. They don't know. And boy, I tell you, a lot of people before they even finish unpacking, like, oh, let me out of here. I thought this was paradise. The only way it's going to be paradise on QM is if we bring Mo back. Mo Bandy with Carl Allen. The numbers of cars and trucks on the road is projected to increase 50% by 2030. You'll all be dead by then, thank God. 23 years away. Maybe not. Let's see, I'd be how old? 87? I think I might still be around. My goal is 90. More days. You know, see, when you get to be this age, you know what your goal is? 90 more minutes. Oh, in fact, I'm thinking maybe 90 more seconds would be good, you know, because...
I'm dying over here.
Well, my good buddy Zisco wrote me last night. You know, he's trying very hard to lecture me about, lecture about the ice cream thing and about keeping me alive because they want me for 50 years like Ricky Tikki and stuff like that. Well, if I'm going to be on the air for 50 years, I only got 3 to go. So that means I'd have to do like a little a little extension there. Because we only got a little over a year and a half to go. And we got 2 of these summer schedules coming. You realize today is May 14? Wow, there he goes again.
Yeah.
All he's thinking about is when does the vacation start, when does he get off,
right.
and when do they have the short shows, when do the Marlins come on? And like these people wouldn't be thinking the same thing. That's what frosts my fat old pimply ass.
Right.
Like if they were in my shoes. By the way, we got 1,003 votes. Nice going, Chris. You're going to make 1,100. I can feel it for you, man. I can smell it.
Thank you.
Must have been a heavy-duty lunch. So all these people, higher local taxes, higher fees, all this other stuff. Broward planners predict much future growth will come from younger families living in areas that already lack adequate schools. Where are their kids going to go to school? Homeschool them, you know.
Sure.
Homeschool them. Teach them all that biblical hate Teach them all that good religious hate. We hate the Jews. We hate the blacks. We hate the fags. We hate the this one. We hate the Catholics. We hate everybody. We hate the ragheads. That's what the world is about. Like I've told you before, it's a contest of who's got the best headgear, baby. Who's got the best headgear? And I know something about headgear. In fact, I bet you Richard Gere knows something about headgear. You think?
I'm sure.
1,004 votes on the poll. We're going for 1,100 today on a Monday in the middle of May. Wow. It is just amazing to me. Just astonishing. And you can smell it. Can't you?
Smell something.
It's in the air. There's something in the air. Thunderclap Newman are singing now. That South Florida is just, it's just that time of the year. In fact, I can remember a couple of times at Pompano Park where they tried to extend into May the closing of the dining room thing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the weekend, and of course, this is long before they had the slots, which I got to see that next time I come down there. But way before they had that. So once everything thinned out, you go up in the dining room even on a Friday or Saturday night, and Fat Rich and I would begin like a command performance. There'd be almost nobody in there, and certainly nobody under the age of 400. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because all the living and breathing people, once it ends Easter and Pesach, and I've told you this over and over, it's coming out of your ears, it's coming out of every orifice in your body. Once that passes, man, once it passes over, that's it. They bail out. Do you blame them?
No.
Now, if you could, like, how about if they install a studio for you in North Carolina? Oh, that's right, you got your family left behind.
Huh? Excuse me? Studio in North Carolina sounds great. Why not Vancouver?
Chris could be there in Miami. You could be in North Carolina.
Or
I could be
Vancouver.
sitting on my fat ass here in Toronto looking out at the sun
Right
shining.
on.
does
Sounds like a
that sound
plan.
like?
It's especially a better plan when I say I can't turn it down, like I have to go.
Right. And you
Mhm.
send a little something in the mail every now and then.
That's right. That's all. That's all I got to do.
And I'm thinking up there in the woods, man, you could like
Deep
grow
in
your
the
own,
woods, I can take my girlfriend with me.
You could grow your own crap up there. 1,006 votes. I mean, who the hell would see? You know, am I right about
That's
that?
right. Oh,
Is
yeah.
that-
Oh,
is that
yeah.
house you got
Oh.
up there in a pretty remote
Deep,
area?
deep in the woods. Oh, yeah.
it's probably your neighbors are like them guys from Antry.
You know it. They're all Cuban, though, but they're all Cuban and drive, Camrys and whatnot, but they're barely ever there.
Really? The Cubans
Neighbors,
invaded
and
North
that's
Carolina?
neighbors in quotes, by the way. Yeah, I told you that.
Wait, in other words,
In other
like
words,
2
they're
miles
far away. Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Deep.
Good. So you could be growing like, you could have fields and fields.
That's
all
right.
the green grass of
That's
home.
right.
I see. Who sang that? Tom Jones?
Oh,
That's
boy.
a horrible song.
Yeah,
though.
it is.
It's depressing. Isn't that Tom Jones? The green.
I think there have been a whole bunch of versions of it.
Do you really? Well, don't play any of them, please. We don't want to depress the audience here on a Monday.
You're
Just
right,
because-
boy. When you're right, you're right.
Who, Tom Jones?
Yes.
Well, play a little bit of it. You got it?
Yeah, it's just taking
Just a
second for some
tad.
reason. Come on, Tom. Why am I frozen up
Hey,
here?
Tom, open up.
Here we go.
Open wide, Tom.
Rectum.
Wouldn't be the first time. Oh, really depressing. Morbid. Coma-inducing. Come on, Tom, you can do it.
The old hometown looks the same.
Oh, that's almost as depressing as Bobby Goldsboro. Okay, that's Tom Jones, in one of his more down moments.
This is Arnold. This is not a tumor. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Everybody, you fairy, forgot about us, and they have all learned to live without us. Back streets back, oh no. Oh, hey, oh no. Oh my God, we're back on tour. But why we did it, we're not sure. Like Milli Vanilli, we can't sing. Got some questions that need answering. Yeah. Are we all washed up? Yeah. Can we still make a few bucks? No, no. Can we still get girls? No way. We are bitter, but indeed we're begging for your money now. Everybody, yeah. We're out of money. Yeah. And you know that this
102 at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday to you. We got the Mad Dog coming up at 2 o'clock, that big power hour with Hank and the Mad Dog at 4. And then the Humper all by himself, 5 to 6:30, which is enough for 2 people. Now, that's really depressing. There was a great fax that I had. In fact, I think I kept it here on the bottom of my, somewhere in my piles.
Mm-hmm.
But, about those good old days. Oh, it's over here. Here it is. But that business about how I sounded so happy and laughing and joking and upbeat. And,
right.
As opposed to what? Do I sound
As opposed
depressed
to
now?
the morose, the just, going through the motions and just unhappy to be here and just waiting for 2 o'clock and that paycheck every 2 weeks. That's all.
Oh, I see. In other words, I was young and naive back then, and I was like,
Well, once upon a time, you used to have fun doing the show.
Now, are you actually saying you don't think I have fun doing the show?
Not as much as you used to, no.
As I used to when? Like a week ago?
Before Joyce, before these people.
Oh, BJ, before Joyce.
Yeah, BJ.
BJ
Can't say that anymore
Joe.
either.
Yeah, BJ. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Joyce. BJ. BJ Thomas. Before Joyce, before Josh Darrow, and certainly before Jolly Joe. JJ. A lot of J's going around, baby. Like the OJs in Love Train. Let's play that 4 hours every day with Rick Shaw doing the intro. Oh, my God. Well, Ricky Ticky's out of the business. I sure hope he's saving up a lot of money. Evidently, he did.
Stations that were literally
no, we don't need to hear the whole thing again. Come on. If you're on our MySpace, then we have 1,376 friends on there, by the way, including a guy I just added on there. Little Joe, I think was his name. He's like 37 or something like that. He says, Miami is for me. And I look. When I go to add these people on there, I look to see if there are pictures like of a real person. If you don't have any pictures, if you don't even have a profile picture, the chances I'm going to add you on there on a scale of 0 are minus infinity, okay? It just ain't going to happen, With all due respect, and I'm sure I've turned away some well-meaning, real people living and breathing, but too bad. At least do a little bit of work and create a page or something. Did I tell you that I got a nice email from the Serbian stallion?
You did.
I did tell you that, didn't I? Well, it's still fresh in my mind.
I see.
Those are just sounds I make every now and then.
I understand.
I have a quaggle, a thing, a twitch, like that. Billions in oil missing in Iraq, U.S. study shows. Between 100 and 300,000 barrels a day of Iraq's declared oil production over the past 4 years is unaccounted for and could have been siphoned off through corruption or smuggling, according to a draft American government report. And by the way, thank you again, one of our emailers on there on MySpace sent me an email with showing the pictures. 443 for high test. I don't know where the hell that picture came from. Maybe in West Coast. 443 a gallon. Thank you, Mr. President, for those low gas prices and all those dead people. Using an average of $50 a barrel, the report said the discrepancy was valued at $5 to $15 million daily. Daily. The report doesn't give a final conclusion on what happened to the missing fraction of the roughly 2 million barrels pumped by Iraq each day, but the findings are sure to reinforce long-standing suspicions that smugglers and corrupt officials control significant parts of the country's oil industry. We didn't go in there and hook up the way we should have. We didn't do anything the way we should have, like stay the hell out of there. That's what we should have done. The report also covered alternative explanations for the billions of dollars worth of discrepancies, including the possibility that Iraq has been consistently overstating its oil production. Iraq and the State Department, which reports the numbers, have been under relentless pressure to show tangible progress in Iraq by raising production levels, which have languished well below the U.S. goal of 3 million barrels a day. Virtually the entire economy of Iraq is dependent on oil revenues. I mean, what's $5 to $15 million a day among friends?
Chump change.
The draft report, expected to be released within the next week, was prepared by the U.S. Government Accountability Office, the GAO, with the help of government energy analysts, and was provided to the New York Times. I'm in the mood for Baskin-Robbins today. With all due respect to my friend Zisco. Well, he said, as long as you keep your sugar, and your diabetes under control. I'm doing okay.
All right.
All right, what? I can go to Baskin-Robbins?
Yes.
Do I have a free pass? I do?
Well, no, not a free pass. It's costly, but, you can go.
I'm talking about just today. I can go?
All right.
And have
It'll cost
3 scoops. 3 scoops of Rocky Road with hot fudge and whipped cream and a cherry.
At least you're walking. I will say that, while you're up there, at least you're walking.
I'm walking more in one day here than I would in a year down there. That's the truth. That's the honest truth. What's not to like? You think that's what's keeping me alive? I know damn well it is. And I know damn well if I was down there, I'd be dead already. And there are some people saying, oh, please come back in that case. Bastards. Miserable, nasty. In fact, you know something? I haven't said this in a long time, but I'm going to say it for all those people who wish me something evil. Yeah, that's for you. I try not to say that. Anyway, Paul Anderson, spokesman for the GAO, said that we won't discuss draft reports, but a State Department official who works on energy issues said that there were several possible explanations for the discrepancy, including the loss of oil through sabotage of pipelines and inaccuracies reporting of production in southern Iraq, where engineers may not properly account for water that is pumped along with oil in the fields there. We're probably getting some water. We could use it. It could also be theft, the official said, with suspicion falling primarily on Shiite militias in the south. Crude oil is not as lucrative in the region as refined products, but we're not ruling that out either, he said. Out. They actually do say out here. Oh, it just drives me up the wall. Not that I want to get out of here when I hear that, but it's just all those stereotypes are accurate, eh? They say those things.
They do.
How's it going, eh?
I know, that's funny.
Punt back on the face-off to Peters. Burry.
Oh, it's the Bruins and the Oilers, baby, from 100 years ago. The 600-year-old Bob Cole. Man, he was old then. Can you imagine how old he is now? He's still pumping it away, baby. He still sounds great and has no idea who's playing and what town he's in. 1,022 votes as Chris continues hanging tenaciously onto that job. Hey, listen, when you got a job like that, pays the big bucks, I think you just have that job because you enjoy being with us.
Oh, of course.
And you need something to buy food to keep you going. Now, how's that girlfriend going that George was talking about last week?
The who?
The girlfriend that you wish you had.
I guess I wish it was pretty good then.
Why does George do that? Why do you make up?
He has a girlfriend, and she's very nice.
You do?
Huh? Yes.
Well, why?
You know, some people are sensitive about their personal affairs. I mean, relationships.
Okay, I'll sit back and let you go on, George.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're done, all right. I think after the show you may be done. And if it's not from him, it might be by... Holy Moses. 1,022 votes on that poll, baby. 1025 now. What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Chris is making a funny face.
Yeah, but...
So what actually was that time?
What else is new? In other words, you've got a girlfriend, but you don't want to talk about her on the air. I'm not going to get personal. I think you're entitled to keep it quiet. You know. Is that what you're saying?
Really quiet, apparently.
No, is that what you're saying? You have a girlfriend, but you just don't want to talk about it.
Yes, correct.
So what's wrong with that? Why couldn't you just say that?
He's shy.
Does she listen?
Occasionally.
How old is she?
Around my age.
So in other words, she might actually be listening. I mean, if she was like 18 or 19, she wouldn't be listening to this show. What are you laughing about? What would be wrong if she was 18 or 19?
Nothing but the thought of that.
Thought of what? Chris with an 18 or 19-year-old girlfriend?
Yeah, he's in his 30s, for Christ's sake.
He's 30. How old are you?
31.
31. And he couldn't have a 19-year-old girlfriend?
I guess theoretically.
You know, you really cracked me up because I know if anybody I know would like to have a 19-year-old girlfriend, it's you, okay? You're not fooling me.
Nah.
Get out of here. Are you out of your mind or what? Get out of here.
My daughter's 18, for Christ's sake. Things change, you know.
So what does that have to do with it? I'm sure she's got some friends.
Things change. Oh, please.
I'm sure she's got some friends.
You have no idea.
Holy Moses.
No.
Well, there's a possibility for you.
No. Especially not now.
Oh, I see. Oh, God, we may not get through till 2 o'clock. This may be it. This may be my rickshaw moment.
When it comes to sports,
tears are welling up in my eyes.
The authority. Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Queen God.
See, that's the kind of thing we need a lot more of, man. All these jocks, all these... and Mike can actually speak, like English. How do you like that?
Went to a necktie party.
Oi!
Over in Iraq. The guest of honor was Saddam Hussein. He won't be coming back.
I'm dying over here.
When I got to the necktie party, lots of men were there. They all came to see Saddam swinging in the air.
All right.
And it's Shiites now. I heard those Muslims yell. Right before they strung him up, they said, you can go to hell. Saddam Hussein was evil, a murderer no less. Since our country's gotten involved, Iraq is just a mess. There's no atomic warheads, no WMD. They put Saddam on trial for crimes against humanity, and it's Shiites now. Guess it's just as well, 'cause whether we decide to stay or go, Iraq's a living hell.
Absolutely.
Say goodbye to Saddam, bye-bye Saddam, bye-bye to Saddam. When his trial was over, they sentenced him to death. And thanks to someone's cell phone, it's on the internet. They put a noose around his neck, opened up a trap door, and now the butcher of Baghdad ain't hanging around no more. And it's Shiites now.
I have no life.
I heard those Muslims yell right before they strung him up. They said, "You can go to hell." Say goodbye to Saddam, bye-bye Saddam, bye-bye to Saddam.
An amazing thing happened there during that last break. You wouldn't believe it in a zillion years. You know what it was?
Well, if I won't believe it, I'm not going to guess. Easy, am I?
I was printing out a story here to my right on that one machine, and the other machine you were faxing me a story, and the headline on both of them says, Miramar DJ says comedian Morgan groped me and wants to impregnate me. How do you like that?
Huh.
So I was printing out the story as you were sending it to me because somebody faxed it in.
How do you like that?
Nope. You like it?
I do like it.
1035 on the poll. We need 65 more votes in 42 minutes. I think Chris is safe, but you better hop on it, man. Don't take it for granted, because you know the audience. They can turn on you like a cornered rat, like a douche box. 1039. We need 61 votes. Come on, lean on it. There's 80 million choices on there. Just make one up. Your favorite TV mom. A disc jockey filed a misdemeanor battery complaint against comedian Tracy Morgan, saying the NBC sitcom star inappropriately groped her at a South Florida radio station Friday morning. Yulika De Castro of Mega 94.9, which used to be...
If you do, you'll clean it up.
What?
If you leak it, you clean it up.
Yulika, I licka.
It's a funny name, I'm sorry.
It's not a funny
sorry,
name.
De Castro.
The way things are going right now, we got Shamika and Shmucka and come
Yulika.
on. Brother. I mean, how about Meshi Pupik? Isn't that a funny name?
Not as funny as Yulika.
How about Chaim Yankel? He's one of my favorites.
I heard that happens when you get older.
Yulika De Castro of Mega 49, 94, whatever it is, used to be Zeta, told police that Morgan smelled of alcohol as he touched her shoulders and arms, kissed the back of her head, Miramar Police Department spokesman Bill Robertson said. De Castro said she pushed him away and he was escorted out of the studio by the people he came with. De Castro, who's on their name, is Sandy Domingo, not Yulika. What is so... I don't understand what you're smirking about on that. Yulika? Is that like...
Older guys have that problem later on in life.
I know. Yulika, we clean up. De Castro, whose name on the air is Sandy Domingo, said she filed a complaint because she felt violated and dirty.
Yeah.
They so dirty. He said he wants to impregnate me, Domingo told the AP. How do you do that? Well, I guess he knows how you do that. Maybe that's what
we all do.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Morgan's attorney in Miami, Mark Shapiro, who sounds Jewish again. Boy, there's so many Jewish attorneys. Told authorities that his client was not yet prepared to speak to them, Robertson said. A telephone message left by the AP at Shapiro's office after hours Friday was not immediately returned. Shapiro also didn't immediately respond to an email requesting comment. He's mum. Morgan's Friday and Saturday night shows at the Improv Comedy Club in Coconut Grove were canceled, said Isis Darius, who works in the box office. See, all these names, man. Club officials wouldn't say why. Once the police report is complete, the Broward State Attorney's Office will determine whether to file charges, Robertson said. Morgan, who's got a history of alcohol abuse, pleaded guilty in February to a misdemeanor drunken driving charge in New York. He previously pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor impaired driving charge in L.A. and was sentenced to 36 months probation, fine $390 in order to attend alcohol education program. The former Saturday Night Live cast member stars on the NBC sitcom 30 Rock.
About 30, man.
With Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, and Jane Krakowski. Telephone messages left Friday for mortgage agents and managers not returned. Radio stations' offices were closed after hours, says the Slum Sentinel.
You know, if that had been some nice Irish girl, there wouldn't have been a problem.
What do you mean by that?
Irish girls are sluts.
What kind of a comment was that, mister? You better watch yourself, man. You're not reading the news. At first Joyce Kaufman, then George Rodriguez.
Yeah, all the Irish girls I know are sluts.
Drunks?
That's good.
Isn't that
Thank
McDonald's,
God.
see drunken Irishmen?
Yeah, and they smoke a lot of weed, too, while we're at it.
Well, good. Now, that sounds like a party to me.
Sure is.
Sounds like the starts of a great, a fantastic...
Party.
10:42. That's not the time. Oh, thank God it's not the time. Can you even imagine? Oh, there's your president.
Our economy.
Oh, my God. You look at him and you ask yourself, is this a joke? Is this a skit from SNL? Is this like some kind of a... it's only make-believe, you know? And then you pinch yourself and you realize, oh, God, it's true. That's it. That's what we got. Pop had Clinton. Look what we got. 10:47 on the poll, 1,047. We need only 53 votes by 2 o'clock to get 1,100. And then, of course, after that, then Josie Lambeat's going to be writing about it in the Palm Beach newspaper. Be on the front page, no doubt. Was that column worth reading about Unica?
I had a great time during that, yeah.
Sounds kind of like an Italian thing. Ulica?
Not today.
And, of course, maybe his problem was he was a little lick it up.
Ooh.
You think that could have been the problem? A little lick it up. Oh, that was not the right thing to say either. Well, no matter how you slice it, baby, they're all getting in their licks. 10:47, and the way it's coming out, which TV mom would you have preferred as your mom, now that we had Mother's Day yesterday? Now, did you do something for Mom yesterday?
I called my sister. My wife sent my mother a card on our behalf.
Wasn't that nice?
Sure, whatever. Yes. And she did it because she knew that I would not.
Good for you, George. Nice going. Good thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't be a hypocrite, you know? Don't hate your mom like poison.
I called
like
my
you
sister, who, for all intents and purposes, raised me and expressed my feelings to her.
Well, wasn't that sweet?
Sure.
What were your feelings? Did you say
like
that?
All of these things? Yes.
Well, good.
All of these things.
Which TV mom? Anyway, Samantha. I'm just reading these two because the rest of them are like all small potatoes. They're all pretenders. Samantha Stevens from Bewitched, 157, and Marge Simpson from The Simpsons, 114. Everybody else strictly in double digits. And you see who's last on there, Family Matters and Harriet Winslow. Family Matters, what kind of a show is that, besides bad?
Bad.
Father Knows Best, Margaret Anderson, 1. Robert Young. Now, we're going to do this again on Father's Day. What TV dad would you like to be your dad?
Why not? It'll kill a poll, won't it?
It sure will. It'll butcher it, baby. How about Robert Young? He was too boring. How about William Bendix, Bill Bendix from Life of Riley? Because then Junior would have been my brother. Wes Morgan. Whatever happened to Wesley Morgan? I bet he's old and ugly now if he's still alive. Man, oh man, when I remember... See, that was one thing when you're young, and you may think it's not so great about being old, which it's not. When you were young back in the day, and here was this novelty called television, and you looked and there were like real people, live people, like moving around on there, you know?
I don't
some of them really looked good, too, you know? Like Luke on, Sandy on Flipper. Luke Halpin.
Right. What about him?
He looked pretty good to me back then. Of course, I was just a punk. You know, I was like 13, 14, and he was like, I don't know what he was. He was old enough. He was old enough for me. Luke Halpin. Sandy. Hey, Sandy, put some clothes on already, okay? And then he had that ugly brother, Bud. Remember Bud?
Yeah, careful. Sure I do. Redheaded step kid.
Ranger Ricks. Wasn't that Daddy's name? Ranger
That's
Ricks.
Right.
Picked up sticks and looked at chicks. Well, he only looked at him because Mommy was dead. Isn't that the deal? Or were they divorced? We never found out. I don't know.
Mommy was dead, I think.
Was she?
Yeah, they didn't do divorce in those days, you know, only on Maude.
10:53 on the poll. We need 47 votes in 34 minutes, or Chris, don't come back tomorrow.
I'm Mark Morgan. Now here's Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
She's oily, soily, and old. Looks like the Quaker Oats guy. Smells from the body roll mold. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes full of her ice pop out. It happened when she realized she raised 4 criminal clowns. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes.
Absolutely.
And she's nasty, old and crafty, and she raised 4 basic Nazis. She's atrocious and takes umbrage to anyone who says they want no Bush. Walks like she's carrying a bowling ball between her thighs and has Marty Feldman eyes. She doesn't mean to squawk, as if she's always surprised. Teeth wiggle when she talks. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. She gave us George Bush and Jeb Bush, not to mention Neil and Robin Bush. Filthy, rich, and fat, and smells just like the magic sauce on a Big Mac. Barbara Bush resembles Ernest Borgnine on a bad day with Marty Feldman eyes.
132-28 till 2 at 560 WQM.
Keep it a secret.
Don't tell anybody about us or that we're on the air. Keep it a big secret, just among us squirrels, okay?
Got it.
1,056 votes. We need 44 in 28 minutes. I don't think you're in for sure yet. You know, I'm starting to get a little envious. I don't think you're in for sure. That's what Yulika said. Well, why do you keep smirking every time I say that?
Funny name. Come on now.
Yulika?
Ask
It's not even
anybody.
close to some of these other ones,
Chris.
like Shamika and Shania and
Yeah, but
Yulika
Yulika actually is, says something. It isn't just a nonsense name.
Yulika?
Yeah.
Is there like a question mark after it?
There ought to be.
1061. We need 39 and 27 minutes. Chris feels we can do that. That's what I'm thinking. And you know what? If we don't, too stinking bad. He's safe. Look, who else are they going to get to sit in there and put up with my crap and your crap as well, making fun of his girlfriend
for no money?
Why? I don't understand.
I wasn't making fun of his girlfriend. His girlfriend.
No,
happens to be
I
very
understand that. You know his girlfriend?
Nice. I have met.
And
she's very nice.
So why would he? I guess he doesn't want to He doesn't want
have
to
it become part of the show.
He doesn't want her to be material. He wants her to
Is
be
she the material girl?
Immaterial.
No.
She's the immaterial girl. Well,
Right.
Well, you could just say that. I'm easy. I'm not here to embarrass you, to humiliate you, to
I am.
degrade. George is because he's a bastard.
That's right.
all. And because of the fact that he's been so humiliated and degraded. He
Sure, that's
misery.
right.
Misery loves company. It's a Suffolk
That's
baby.
right.
In fact, I wasn't going to say it today, but George has a message for it, Chris.
I thought that was every day.
Well, I mean, more so than any other day. Let me say it again, just so you don't miss it. Okay, now let's lean on this poll, folks. I'm getting a little bit nervous for Chris here. 1061, that's still sitting there. We need 39 votes in 26 minutes. Shouldn't be like a major... I figured that out ahead of time. I did the math in my head. I did all my head, which a lot of my life has been in my head. And, boy, I wish more of it would have been in my bed. But that's the way it goes, That's what Yulika said. Suggestive divorce billboard stung by Chicago permit process. Ad pulled for not going through proper channels. Something in Chicago. In a section of the Rush Street nightclub district, sometimes called the Viagra Triangle, a huge billboard rode up recently with photographs of a sexy, scantily clad woman on one side and a buff, bare-chested man on the other. The text between the photos proclaimed, "Life's short, get a divorce." George.
Yeah, I know, that's a good idea.
Life's short, get a divorce. That was the message on the billboard.
Uh-huh.
Did we get another little chunk here on the poll? Oh, 1062, we got one. I think you're in trouble, to be honest with you, Chris. I think you're in big, fat trouble.
Nah.
The ad, sponsored by Chicago divorce lawyer Corey Fettman, was meant to remind unhappy, restless, or bored spouses that they have other options, some quite attractive. The message is, if you're unhappy, do something about it, Fettman said. It's really no different than a motivational book that says, live the best life you can, be happy. That's always my advice to all my buddies, to everybody I know.
What's
Enjoy
that?
life. That
Really?
What?
It goes back to that billboard.
Enjoy life. Get a divorce.
Huh.
1063. There's another one, man. The rate they're coming in now would be lucky to get to 1,080. Yeah, they're letting you down, Chris. They want your ass out. That's because you're reluctant. You don't want to tell them all kinds of spicy stories about your girlfriend and stuff like that. We're not making her material on the show, okay? Trust me when I tell you, we are not delving into that aspect of your life. In fact, more power to you.
Amen.
If you got a nice girlfriend, anybody, it's got a nice girlfriend, a boyfriend, both, whatever.
Nice.
Right. More power to you. Live life the best you can. Be happy. Oh, I just got through reading that.
Mm-hmm.
The billboard had been scarcely up a week before it was ordered removed last week by Chicago Alderman Burton Notaras. He said it was not the content of the ad. Notaras is known for his affection for the outlandish, but because the ad company hired by Fetman had violated Chicago cardinal rule, it hadn't gone through the proper channels at City Hall to get a permit. Well, so what's the big deal about that? Fetman isn't about to back down. We're not going to stop, she said. In fact, we're getting ready to do more racy photos. She hoped the billboard would generate a little buzz. Since then, the phones at the law firm have scarcely stopped ringing. At last count, more than 1,000 people had called or sent an email message about the ad. Some people congratulated Fetman for telling it like it is. Some accused her of doing the work of the devil. It's 0 or 10, Fetman said. There's no gray area. They either like it or they hate it. They either like this show. They see like this show. They either love it or they hate it. But if they hate it, they listen that much more.
Right.
There are a lot of people out there listening to us right now, and they hate me, they hate you, they even hate Chris. You know what I say to them? Yeah, that's right. Your mama. Chicago's always been a brassy, brawling town that relishes a dust-up. That's exactly what the ad has sparked, it says. In bars, shops, and orifices, people have been debating whether it's okay to get divorced just because you feel like it. Just because you feel like it. You wake up in the morning and you say, hey, I feel like a divorce today, you know? 1065, we need 35 votes.
It's usually when that happens, too.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning
on a sour note. The billboard made some divorce lawyers wince, according to Kimberly Anderson, a top official with the Chicago Bar Association. Some of my colleagues thought it was sleazy, she said. We've got a bad enough reputation as is, without downgrading even more. It has not gone unnoticed that Fetman 43 is a striking blonde who could play the part of a temptress. A native of the Chicago area, she describes herself as happily divorced. She said people don't need to make excuses for wanting to get divorced. She scoffs at the notion that married people will glimpse the hot bodies in her ads and suddenly ditch their spouses. Oh, let's see those ads. By the time somebody calls us, she said they've either got somebody or they'd like to find somebody. And isn't that what we all want, to find somebody, Somebody.
Sure.
That song, Somebody, I think there shouldn't have been one word. I think it should have been 2 words instead of Somebody to Love You, Jefferson Airplane, Grace Slick. Mm-hmm. I think it should have been 2 words. Somebody to love. There you go. Now, thank God they had nothing to do with drugs. 1065. I'm telling you, you're not making much progress on here. I think they want to get your ass fired, fat man. I keep clicking this view current thing, as per... and you know what? It's always this time, isn't it? Always this time. 135, 140, whatever. And Eric's got his foot on the brake, man. Just like in The Hitcher. Remember Rutger Hauer had the brake set, and he had that chick tied between the 2 trucks with the rope?
Oh, the remake of that was on, and I didn't watch it.
They remade The Hitcher? They should only croak.
Right. I didn't watch it specifically.
If ever a movie did not need to be remade, and by the way, if anybody hasn't seen The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell, see it. Believe you me, that is one of the absolute. That's great. It's not good. It's great. I don't care what anybody says, and you're not going to make your 1100, Mister. I'm telling you right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we will.
Need 35 votes in 21 minutes. It's slow down to a walk. Eric has got he's got his foot on it, baby. He is stomping. He's doing the freaking Bristol.
My junior, honey.
Wow, your fat ass is really comfortable.
Wow, your fat ass is doing wonders for my bad back. Want to do something useful with your fat ass?
I could sleep on your fat ass all day.
Then why not put it to use?
Hey, you don't mind if my girlfriend sits on your fat ass too, do you?
As one of America's newest ass cushions, put your fat ass to use for the airlines and turn a coach seat into comfort class.
This is great.
By letting people sit on your fat ass, you'll be helping to improve people's days. On the bus, at the movie theater, even at the park.
Mommy, come bounce on this fat ass with me.
Put your fat ass to work today. Receive hourly wages, health benefits, and ho-hos. Call now and be proud to be a fat ass.
Rectum. I wonder if Eureka's got a fat ass. Anyway, we got some problems here, Chris. You're really up against it, baby. You got 1,073 votes, and you got 27 short. in 15 minutes. Now, that's not even 2 a minute. But at the current ratio we're going, if Eric would just let off the emergency brake a little bit, 107.3 ain't even moving a tick. It ain't ticking. It takes a licking, but it ain't keeping on ticking. As John Cameron Swayze would say, way before your time. You know John Cameron Swayze?
Who? No.
He did the Timex spots. And they would take like a Timex watch, one of those $10 watches, and they would tie it like to a boat motor or to some horrible thing, and they would like it all shaking, and they'd take it out of there and like, hey, it's still ticking, man. It takes a lick and it keeps on ticking. I mean, what kind of a person wears a Timex watch? Somebody smart. People that wear expensive watches are just asking to be robbed. Right. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you are. I wear a Casio.
I have a nice Citizen, and this is one that lasts for life. It lasts for life.
Good.
And it doesn't have no, it just goes on forever. It takes it licking. It's a Citizen something. What does it say? I can't read the fine print. I'm old.
Citizen of Canada?
Citizen of the universe. 1,075. We need 25 votes. I want, I don't like leaning on that. By the way, I got a great Frank Rich column, Earth to GOP, the Gippers did, but it's way too long to read. I don't want to read long stuff. And Dave Lindorf's got a good column, too. Impeach this president or remove the impeachment clause. These are on our website, on neilrogers.com. They're just too long. In addition to which, I need to spend all of my last few minutes here today pushing that poll.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Nothing. I ain't touching that.
Good. And you're not invited to either, okay? Holy Moses. 1078. We need 22 votes in 14 minutes. The ratio it's certainly doable, you know what I mean? But what we need is to start seeing some chunks from you people out there. Come on. This is a poll that's got 600 choices on it. TV mom, would you like to have had as your own, as opposed to your own mom, who maybe is a lousy cook, or a miserable mom like George's?
Come on, people, save my job.
But now, see, there you go. Even Chris chimed in a little bit there. He's been fairly quiet since George started picking on his nice girlfriend. I'm going to tell you right now, we're never mentioning your girlfriend again on the show.
Yeah, okay.
No, we're not, because you're obviously sensitive about that, and I don't want to, I don't want to interfere.
Well, you're too kind.
What do you mean by that? I don't mess with guys' girlfriends, okay?
I know.
You really?
Yeah,
that's a fact.
In any way, okay. Well, at least I'm safe anyway. It's safe to have me around. I'm not going to interfere. Oh, don't even get me started there. Don't go there, girlfriend.
Oh, there's no chance of that.
1082. We need 18 votes in 13 minutes. Man, this is a chore. And, of course, this is the whole audience has voted probably twice in the Jolly Joe Bell era here at QAM. Keep it a secret. Keep it a big secret. Don't tell anybody about it. Don't go out there with no sandwich boards on Lincoln Road Mall or at the Sawgrass. God forbid. 1086. We need 14 and 12 minutes. Now we got a more doable ratio there. Wow. Boy, I had to really work my fat ass off, you know. And you know something? Not a bad idea either. Now this story, religious groups granted millions for pet projects. It goes on for 100 pages. But can I just read a little bit?
All right.
St. Vincent College, a small Benedictine college southeast of Pittsburgh, wanted to realign a 2-lane state road serving the campus. But the state transportation department didn't have the money. So St. Vincent tried Washington instead. The college hired a professional lobbyist in 2004, and later that year, 2 paragraphs were tucked into federal appropriations bills with the help of Representative John Murtha, Democrat of Pennsylvania, awarding $4 million solely for that project. College officials said the work would improve the safety and appearance of the road into the campus, which President Bush visited 2 days ago to give the college's commencement address. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. Not. Religious organizations have long competed for federal contracts to provide social services, and they've tried to influence Congress on matters of moral and social policy. Indeed, most major denominations have a presence in Washington to monitor such legislation, but an analyzation of federal records shows that some religious organizations are also hiring professional lobbyists to pursue the narrowly tailored individual appropriations known as earmarks, which kind of sounds like earwax. I just pulled a glob of wax out of my right ear. I have no idea. Yeah, with my little pinky. I don't know.
Ooh.
And I just,
Don't smell it.
No, smell your earwax? That's like eating boogers, man.
Not quite, but bad enough.
Even worse would be eating your earwax.
Ah.
Oh. Yeah, that's a horrible thought. That's even too gross for me. I mean, boogers, that's like a nice, dessert. Like an appetizer. But earwax, ooh. And what makes earwax? Now, you're supposed to be a genius.
Yeah.
Can you answer that question?
Don't you know that every part of your body excretes or secretes a whole bunch of stuff?
Yeah. We need 8 votes. Go ahead.
So your ears excrete wax.
They
It's not
excrete
wax
wax?
like beeswax, but that's, you know.
Like waxy buildup?
Yeah, but that's what it's similar to. I mean,
Oh, my
it's
God.
mucus,
waxy
technically
buildup
speaking.
Is bad. Big globs of, if you get waxy buildup, man, you're going to have like big globs of crap like sliding down the side of your head,
Uh-huh.
and people are going to look at you like and start laughing their ass off, and oh, man. 1092. Now, do we feel safe, Chris? Do I need to pump this to push it a little bit more for you or not?
I think we got it.
See, you're too complacent. If I hadn't have put the big push on here at the end, you wouldn't have come even close. You wouldn't have come close, I'm just telling you, because they just, they lost interest.
I think it was when I asked them to save my job. That's what it was.
Is that what it is? That's
Yeah.
when they laid off? They laid back. They're still not doing it. We still 8 short, and you got like 9 minutes. It's like not even 1 a minute, but even so. If we'd start talking a lot more sports now, if we talk about the NBA playoffs and certainly about the NHL playoffs and how the Sabres are down 2-0 and they're dead as a doornail, man. They really disappointed this old queen, I'll tell you that. I was so excited the first period the other night when they went up 2-0. They were all over Ottawa like stink on the spokesman, man. The spokesman said, I thought putty cat. That's what he said. You know, BM, Brian Murray, even George remembers
Sure.
him. No BM. And it looks like he just may have a wiener, man. They may just go to the Stanley Cup Finals, a damn stinking Ottawa. Oh, God. 1093, baby. We need 7 votes in 9 minutes. And the way they're coming, man, and you think it should be easy. You think we're going to get one clump and you're going to say, hey, 1100. No way. 1094. See what I mean? One at a time.
Come on, people.
Oh, now, what was that song? Come on, everybody. What was that song from the 60s?
Looking.
Join your brother, everybody.
Isn't it Sly and the Family Stone or something?
No.
1096.
Stone Ponies? What is it? Come on, people. I don't know. One of those kind of like folk song things, from back in the 60s when we had people that cared when they were riding on college campuses. And then, of course, along came Kent State that we just had the anniversary of a few days ago. And bada bing, they said, yeah, you want to protest? We'll show you a protest. That's the fascist government, the police state at work. We'll show you. And then there were a bunch of dead people, and they said, maybe we're not going to protest
Dave
no
Clark
more.
5.
Dave Clark 5 what? No,
Nope,
that's not
nope.
it. What's the song? Come
Young
on,
Bloods.
people. Huh?
Young
I'm trying
Bloods.
to sing it.
Young
I'm
Bloods.
not singing
I'm
it
finding
because I'm trying to sing it to myself in my head.
Smile on your brother.
Smile on your brother. There you go. That's good.
It's called
Get Together, and it's by the Youngbloods.
I was thinking the Stone Ponies, the Youngbloods. Medley of their smash, by the way.
Yeah.
153 at QM.
Of Nanny 911 and Super Nanny comes a Hollywood twist on this show entitled Celebrity Nanny. Join us in episode 1 as we bring in Alec Baldwin.
And I'm going to straighten your ass out.
That's exactly what he's going to do to this suburban couple's little girl with his somewhat controversial nannying style of calling the child names.
You are a rude, thoughtless little pig.
Watch as Alec plays board games with the little girl, then acts like a really sore loser when she wins all the time.
You've made me feel like and you've made me feel like a fool over and over and over again.
Alec takes losing board games very personally,
You have insulted me for the last time.
as he then refuses to play anymore.
I'm tired of playing this damn game with you.
Alec tells the girl that he would play other games with her, except there's just one little problem.
You don't have the brains or the decency as a human being.
Is yelling at a child like this inappropriate? Alec sure doesn't think so.
I don't give a damn that you're 12 years old or 11 years old or that you're a child.
It's the most interesting style of nannying ever.
I'm going to really make sure you get what a rude little pig you really are.
Join Alec Baldwin as our very first ever celebrity nanny.
I made an ass of myself.
Yes, you have.
Bye, bye, bye.